that Miss Jolene has made for me. And then tonight it's chicken piccata with a salad and some ginger rice. And I don't know. Let me just turn this camera on. You're not going to believe what I'm so lucky to eat. Let me bring you over here and show you. I had him shut the heat. We got a great grit Western going with Charles Bronson and Kurt Russell is a young boy. It's a good one. I think it's called Guns of Diablo. Anyway, let me turn the camera on and show you what Miss Jolene has made for my birthday dinner. We'll have one more video maybe in the morning before I head back to Sarasota, but this will be the last evening chat video here. I might make myself a fire a little bit later. It's getting kind of chilly out here, but let's turn around and show you the Christmas tree, the tiki hut, and the wonderful dinner she's made. All right, here we go. Yes. And we're serving up Teddy first. Look at this. Oh, look at these lovebirds here.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, check it out. What do you got there? Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at the skull she's got on this. This is chicken that she beat up with a hammer on the wax paper and mallet. And I've got mine. This is ginger rice
with mushrooms.
With mushrooms, yeah. And we got a delicious salad. That's the rest of the rice there. But oh my gosh, look at the birthday size I got. Let me show you the salad. For him? And there is desserts in there if we want it. I'm sure there's some leftovers. Yep. But she's got the spinach salad with the mushrooms and tomatoes. We got some good dressings here. Thank you very, very much, Jolene. I appreciate it very much. And Ted, thanks for hosting and having me over here.
You know what they say about fish and visitors? They stink after 2 days.
He's always got a good one. Everybody loves you, man.
Oh yeah.
So, but this is great. So we're gonna get into it. Get our grit movie back on. The Guns of Diablo. Enjoy this wonderful meal. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy birthday, everybody. All right,
Merry
crush
Christmas,
it.
Happy New Year.
Oh yeah.
Oh, hey, hi, hey, everybody. Happy December the 27th. Sorry for so many delays. I'm about to put my camera on. I just wanted to catch up with Tim's breakfast. Yeah, lowly paid YouTuber. So I'm still over here trying to pour my coffee. Salad looks great. Oh, yeah, hi. I know. Good morning. Yeah, I'm going to try to get Tim on again. And I didn't want to start late. And I was already running late by days. So I'm going to tidy myself up. I'm going to put a little bit more Tim on for a second while I pour my coffee and brush my hair again since I just pulled on. But I wanted to share that last night because we know we're on the eve to Sarasota Tim's birthday. So it's going to be great. And here we have Tim, of course. We're going to share this instead with his lovely gratitude, golf, and good friends. Because, of course, we always know that Sarasota Tim is extremely grateful for having stolen Johnny Vegas's golf clubs. And, yes, I spoke, as we know, with Johnny Vegas. So was JJ. And Johnny Vegas let it go. But we in the community have not let it go, Tim. Because every time you show up at those golf clubs, it's just sticking in people's faces. I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas. I feel like I can't talk to everybody off camera. So let me pour my coffee. Let me play Tim at 1.25. Let me let everybody say hi in the chat and happy post-Boxing Day. I apologize, like I said, for so many delays. I kept I'll be completely honest, I'm old and tired. I'm not going to lie. And so I do so much better in the morning sometimes. And I've been busy and trying to kind of disconnect from anything online too much. Taking the dogs out, going to the world's most dead mall yesterday, which was a really sad experience, but I did get to go to a Lush store. So I might do a foodie beauty today. I finished my classes, so that was fun. I just need to get ready to try to find some clinical and not in a huge rush to do that because that sounds like a lot of unpaid labor. But I did want to catch up with everybody. I hope everybody, free speech, I guess so, as long as you're nice. As long as his speech is nice. You're concerned about his walks and talks with Jolene. What is he telling her? Hopefully Jolene is an old enough and a wise enough lady that she can, she's known Tim long enough. I'm sure Tim has been inappropriate around her for years and said, and Teddy, he has the face of a man who is being polite, but looks sick and tired of his friend making comments about his wife. if Tim, you were not able to provide the type of home and surroundings, you know, Teddy and Jolene work in mutual benefit to one another. Okay? And she obviously has a great time doing what she's doing. She's not out there because she feels forced. Jolene obviously has an absolutely fantastic time being out there. She says, I hear Tim stole the rental clubs too. He rented some clubs. Did he not go with clubs and then took some rental clubs? Is that what happened? Because did he take his golf clubs? I mean, his whole trip. I wonder if at the end of the day, I should have put that in the poll, whether or not Tim was always planning to go to Boynton Beach. Because he never mentioned, of course, they only ever talked to Key West. And he really didn't stay in Key West. It was that bike was definitely a bus. I don't think we'll be seeing any cross-country tours. All right, make sure you say the like. Hey, everybody. Yeah, I happy Merry Christmas, and I hope you all had a fantastic. I kept watching, I don't know. I kept thinking, nobody's going to want to watch me go live about Sarasota Tim over Christmas. Let's be honest. So I would come in after going off and doing stuff. I hope everybody had an absolutely fantastic holiday. And, I'd have a little glass of Bailey's. They had a oat milk version with cookies and cream, and I treated myself to a bowl for Christmas. And so I'd have a sip of that, and I'd be sitting, oh. And when you want to go live, you want to make sure you have energy for the audience. And I promise you, if I had been out walking the dogs on the boardwalk, which we did on Christmas Day, it was a beautiful day here in Virginia Beach. I can't lie. I hope everybody else had a beautiful day. But we put it was so nice outside. The dogs only had to have their little Christmas scarves on, and out we trotted, and everybody was saying hi to them. But it looks like Tim was definitely making sure he was not alone for Christmas, which is good. Tim is definitely an extrovert. He is definitely an extrovert. Okay, we do have a poll going. Maybe we'll switch them around. I am going to give away 5 Life and Vibes memberships today as I'm sorry, Merry Christmas. I did want to thank everybody who's been so generous and waiting for me to come back on my live stream, and appreciate the patience. Like I said, I kind of just disconnected myself, and I just kind of, instead of just trying to set everything up again, I just kept pushing it. I should have privatized it, but I kept really honestly thinking I would go live like last night. But when I got home, I was so tired from walking in the dead mall. That mall had nothing in it. It was the saddest mall in the world. Anyway, the poll today. So, our good friend Sarasota Tim is wanting to get to 100K subscribers. And will he do so in 2026? Make sure to hit the poll. We always like to try to get to at least 100 votes. Absolutely. Crushing it, baby. Say 4% of the audience. No way they'll stay the same. He'll just hover at 67.6, 67.7, which he did all year, which I hovered too. I had no major growth and, a little bit of loss, but nothing major. So, I had a pretty static year, but I have a feeling if I were trying to put out as much content and having had the start that Tim went way too off his niche. So now he just has this hardcore audience, kind of like me. I keep trying to find new Tims, I promise you. All right. They'll actually go down, say 71%, and 25% think that he'll remain in that 26 to 20, 67.6, 67.7 K subscribers. Hopefully now that I'm out of school and out of my busyness, I can devote more time to my channel. I do have my video coming out. That will be an end of the year 2025 lowlights of Sarasota Tim. I can't call them highlights when it's talking about thieving golf clubs and not caring for people who cared about him when they've been diagnosed with breast cancer. So, Tim's 2025, I feel like, hit some lows. Obviously, Tammy's still in his life. He just hasn't pinned her down into a property. I don't know if they've actually, they're obviously still friends. What their romantic ties are, who knows? Who knows? People think that she was down also in that area, that maybe she has children there. I have no idea. I don't try to get to the kids and the family and stuff. The Idea Place says he was upset because obviously Tammy opted to spend the holiday with the family in the Carolinas, not with him. Don't want that. I would spend time in the Carolinas too if I was doing Christmas. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? The Jews in my community would be available. Like, oh, well, I'm so sorry. You know, and I should think about that, Lori. I do have heritage that way too. I mean, I really wasn't doing like a lot of Christmas. I apologize. I forget. I do have people of many different faiths. And I love that. He was upset because obviously Tammy opted to spend the holiday with her family in the Carolinas. Oh my gosh, is there anywhere near the Biltmore Estate? God, that place is beautiful. I would love, I mean, Virginia beautiful too, don't get me wrong. But we're becoming like the data center capital of the world, which is really scary. But anyway, with that said, let's get over to Tim. I just love catching up with everyone. I actually have some energy. That's why I'm so excited. So in a second, I'm going to get my coffee and my lipstick, and I'm going to come live. And hopefully we can get stable internet, because that's part of it too. All right, Tim. He's got gratitude, he's got golf, and he's got good friends. I do wonder, maybe this will be the next poll we'll do in a moment, that whether or not Tim was planning this all along, or did he, or put your thoughts in the comments, because I really haven't watched him. I'm gonna be honest. I had a time away, so I kind of looked at his thumbnails and saw that he had obviously gone to Teddy Doty's. I'm like, oh my god, did they expect him? Was he planning all along? Like the trip to Key West was kind of a risk, and all along he was intending to make this, pit stop to Boynton Beach and spend Christmas there. And I find it interesting that he's going home like the day before his birthday. Because, who is he going to spend his birthday with? Because his neighbors at the RV site have watched his content anytime recently. He called them all drunks and shopaholics. The man who spends his entire time buying and returning items wants to criticize that other people are going off shopping. I guess they were just going to, places that were a little bit, too highbrow for Tim's taste or something. I don't know. But then he basically called them all drunks too, hanging out in the gazebo. So after he said they were fantastic, and once I guess they teased him for finding out some stuff about him on the hater channels, Tim, so he had to get out of there for Christmas. So I don't imagine he's spending the holidays with the neighbors, is what I'm saying. Oh, I do miss going live. I have missed you guys. I am so sorry I kept kicking it down the can. I think I was really tired. I think everything just caught up with me. Yeah. All right, Tim, take it away. 1.2. Are you 1.25? I need to get, yeah. Oh, 1.5. Lord, we can't have you that false. I can't understand you. Okay.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Sarasota Tim. Well, I'm walking out here on Tight Pants Point, and I just wanted to make a little video to the community and update you on my wonderful Christmas holiday vacation with friends and my community. And here I am at my little humble tent that I've been crashing in every night, right out here on this amazing spot in Boynton Beach, Florida, really where I call home and was my home for quite a while. Been coming here for years, and the good Lord really knew.
It's the place you lived at, Tim. Oh, I'm sure you would love to have this as your home. Tim, you can't even get me I can't even get a break away long enough to get a coffee and some lipstick on so they look decent for the audience. Even though I get cold granny, which I don't really care. I was laughing about that the other day. What do you think? I would be disturbed of finding a really, really young person, in their 20s, wanting to talk about Sarasota Tim. Anyway, Tim, this is a place that, and I love the tent was hitched onto looked like the dock or something. They're not ever going to let him in the house. They're like, don't let him in the house. Don't let him in the house. He'll claim residency. Tim, you would love to have that. You know, I understand. I had my grandmother's and grandfather's home, the property that was my grandparents' property, and where my mother lived as a child, and where I spent years in my childhood when my parents divorced, and even after I divorced, you know, everybody was at this house. It was on the water here in Virginia Beach. And it was in a very nice neighborhood. It was beautiful. And yes, that was what I would call home, because I was there the first day I was born, you know. Now, it was technically my grandma's home. I think I could still have called that home. This is Teddy and Jolene's property, Tim, and you stayed there as a property. Yeah, anyway, let's go.
What I wanted for Christmas and where I would be the happiest. And today, I don't even know where to begin. I wanted to thank John and Carol that invited me. They've been subscribers for a long time, to their home this morning for breakfast. And when I got there, I got this great surprise and an invite to take me golfing. John took up golfing. He knows I like to golf about a year ago, a little over. And he's actually pretty darn good.
That's why he would have had to.
And of course, I couldn't resist.
Again, he's not.
Boats going by. I couldn't resist the offer and also the amazing opportunity. Look at these nice boats going by. Everybody's got a new one. Look at that. It's got 3 motors on the back. What a beautiful style. Look at these folks here. They rent these kayaks right out here. Look at all the traffic coming down the channel here, heading south towards Boca. But anyway, John and Carol are amazing subscribers. And it's just like everybody else I've ever met. I always tell them, they're always like the same. It's the salt of the earth that watch my channel, that like my channel, and want to meet me, know me.
I hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm going to turn off my phone. For some reason, my computer wants to connect to my telephone as the microphone with the StreamYard. I swear. I cannot with technology. Keep going, Tim.
Invite me to their place and everything. And so they're just more of the same. And so many of you out there, I can tell in the comments, are just like everybody else. And but today on the golf course, we had an especially good time. And it was a birthday present, early birthday present that John extended to me and treated me to golf and renting clubs. The club rental came.
Oh, gosh, of course, because you didn't show. I hope you guys can hear me. Goodness me. Hi. Oh, my gosh. Of course. He shows up not only for Christmas, but for his birthday. Oh, thank you. And hey, Catherine, I wanted to thank you for your Christmas gift. It goes to the puppies, and they already have destroyed most of their toys. So nice to see you. I didn't know if you were back from your sisters yet. Merry Christmas. Do not expect me. Merry Kirihimiti. And I know I destroyed that. Okay. You've been doing this long enough not to have so many technical issues. Well, you would hope, but it's amazing how these things suddenly decide to connect to stuff that you're not even aware it's connected to. I would just assume because I see my microphone connected into my computer and it's green. And then I suddenly went and looked at my phone and it said it was connected to my phone as a microphone, which is nowhere near where I'm sitting. So I have just these things, you know, every time you update, they do things that I don't expect. So that's just the way it goes, you know. YouTube does, you know, I have to obviously, it's been a recent thing that this computer has been really wanting to connect to my phone as a microphone. I was recording something, I think, the other day for you guys. And I don't know. It was doing something weird because of this microphone and the phone wanting to be a microphone when I'm connected to the computer. I don't know. Nobody wants to hear about this. If he didn't film it, it didn't happen. Well, didn't he film the golf? Didn't he film the golf trip? And I guess, you know, and again, after this man, this is what I just despise. I'm sorry. I don't know. I just don't think that, you know, I don't know. The thing is, it's so odd. Okay, don't take this as a misanthropic comment. Like misanthropic. I believe that's the correct term for like me being against men, like me being the opposite of a misogynist. Like I'm man hating because I'm not. But I find it interesting that if this was a female, I don't think that they would have treated her to as many activities, like taking her out golfing, taking her to lunch, done all these different things, because I've had that sort of stuff where my friends have said, oh yeah, because they've owned boats, for businesses and stuff. Oh yeah, we're going to take you out on the boat for your birthday and all sorts of stuff. And it never happens, and so, or, your friends will say they'll go to golf with you, but you're still paying even though it's your birthday because it's a golf and it's not cheap, at least when I was growing up. So having people like rent the clubs and do all this stuff. I mean, I've had girlfriends who've gone to breakfast with me on my birthday. This is not trying to get and I've had to pay for my own breakfast because I make more money than they do. And they're like single moms. So it's like, I just find it so funny. And men traditionally make more money. So you would think that you wouldn't treat a guy who's 60 some years old, he's supposedly crushing it on his YouTube channel and making all of this money. But it's just funny how he just gets treated. I mean, did he really do any work at Ted and Jolene's taking those trees down? Because if he was, I'm surprised he didn't lose a finger because he's hopeless with tools. And he says so. Just your opinion? She's asking people to send a dollar, so she's probably a bit more on top of things. Just my opinion. Who, I am? She is asking. Oh, I'm not. Oh, no, I'm not asking anyone to send me $1 about anything. So I just suddenly realized that my microphone, for some odd reason, was connected as my phone. And I had to literally, I usually turn my phone off before I live stream, and I didn't today. And it's probably part of no, it's just recently. It's been in the last couple of weeks. So whatever updated on my computers, on my Mac stuff, because I have all Macintosh stuff, like Apple, I guess they call it now. Everything like connects, even if I have this thing. Anyway, nobody cares to hear this, guys. You're gonna kill my live stream. Okay. Now it's just one more thing I know I need to think about because StreamYard does do stuff weird. Like sometimes I look into it and it's like it's doing all sorts of bizarre stuff, and I'm not the only one. So wrenches can silence me. Oh, I don't know, Styler. Are you just trying to be a troll? Because that's not very fun. I'm trying to be polite. I haven't even had a chance to come on camera yet. Don't be mean. Oh, he's being one of those? Well, maybe he's one of... I never asked for anything. Oh, because a comment came up about my puppies. Oh, that's to make fun of Tim. If you can't understand what being ironic is, or being like just teasing people, then obviously you don't know what YouTube is. But you do. So you're just a troll. That's okay. I don't care.
With balls and tees.
Give me views and comments. That's going to push me up the algorithm. Thank you.
That I was able to use. And we had a really good round. We played only 9 holes, which was good and bad. Good that it's really the only time we had for today. I had to get back here for my birthday dinner that Miss Jolene is making for me, another meal. But it was really crowded out there. It was a beautiful day. And so many people were wanting to be on the golf course right after Christmas, all the snowbirds.
But, do you remember that? I don't ever remember Tim ever going to Dollywood. Maybe he wasn't going to have to potentially pay for a ticket, so it never happened. So with the golf, because somebody else is paying, it's always the same with Tim. It was the same when he went out to Utah and to Arizona. Was it Arizona? Wherever it is out by Laughlin. Okay, Nevada. It was all that area. All of that area. But in California, he drove out specifically to get like a free golf game in California that luckily the guy decided that Tim was getting so much shite online that the guy pulled away and didn't bother to do it. But I think Tim was miffed. And that was probably with Johnny Vegas' stolen golf clubs. Now you got people renting him golf clubs. Can we please stop? This is where I'm like, I don't want to sound like I dislike men, because I don't. But I'm just thinking, for a guy like Tim, and they're still getting people for that EIDL, Tim, you need to show where you use those monies for your car oil change coupon business. You cannot say your RV and all these items. That is not going to clear. And they're still arresting people. They're just getting people who have in the 6 figures. But they're still getting people for this stuff, Tim. And you definitely filed fraudulent paperwork because you needed to file with that bank. And I wish I'd taken a copy of that filing now, where he actually, and it said which bank he went through. It's like a pretty major bank. And that he said he had all these computers and all of these items that he needed $52,400 to keep the lights on for an already closed down business. That he never ever, and we have years of documented evidence, ever went back into that business again. And yet he clearly says he used that money to pay his debts. I wish people would stop. I can't believe that Teddy and Joe, I don't even understand. I wouldn't want to associate with people like this. You know, because you stole from the American taxpayer. I watched a thing on YouTube about it last night. That's what you did, Tim. You're just a common thief.
It wasn't bad at all. I mean, our wait was not even 5 minutes before we were able to hit again from the people in front of us. An amazing place here, isn't it? So, John and Carol, here's what's funny about her. I'll share a little bit about Carol to you. She's been watching me a long time, and she follows my diet and the carnivore, and she's a health, I won't call her a health nut. She's a health conscientious person, very, very healthy. And I don't mind telling you right now, Carol is 85 years old, and Carol can run circles around John and I. And I mean, she is an amazing person. And there's just always those exceptions out there of people that life and their attitude has been especially.
Tim, I've started reporting you for your carnivore diet because YouTube very clearly has terms of service about disordered eating. Anything which has a very limited diet with no evidence-based practice, and there isn't. I don't care how many of you guys eat carnivore. I, as a healthcare professional, would never recommend it. There are way too many studies that actually show that it raises your cholesterol. You don't get enough nutrients from it. You are going to increase your risk of cardiovascular disease and colon cancer and a myriad of other actual health issues. It is not miraculously clearing up glaucoma and all of these other things. All of these people's stories are anecdotal. The evidence and any large studies show it's not benefit. In fact, anything that has anything as such a restrictive diet is a disordered eating pattern. And you promote this disordered eating constantly to an elderly population. You have no ability to talk around topics of health. I do. Yes, thank you. Even when it comes to food. Yes, thank you. Sorry, I have all these, people without expertise who want to say that, even though I am a medical professional and been in my profession for well over a decade, working and then obviously studying even longer, oh God, it's even longer than that. Now I think about it, it's more like 15 years working in healthcare because I worked as a teacher before. Anyway. You, Tim, I'm reporting your videos for disordered eating and self-harm. Just the way that Foodie Beauty and Amberlynn Reed, you, sir, promote a diet that is known to be bad. That's it. You're getting reported. That's what I've been doing. Also, guys, busily trying to get Tim demonetized. Because if one thing would hurt Tim, it's 3 months of demonetization on YouTube for having disordered eating that he promotes on his channel. Because he talks about his weight. He talks about trying to get thinner. He does all of these things that YouTube is violating YouTube's terms of service. And he has no clue. And we'll pull it up in a moment and I'll show you guys. But yeah, good luck, Tim. Have fun.
Good to them.
That's what I'm up to,
Pontoon boat
guys.
coming in. Oh, it's boat traffic. Isn't this great? Comes some more kayakers bringing up the rear. And she brings out all the things she buys. She talks about Sprouts, where she likes to shop. And she shows me all these products that she's bought.
Oh, Tim, you should love that conversation. You love shopping. I mean, that's like your wheelhouse. That's like your happy place. Tim, shopping your happy place. Oh my God, why do you tell us so much about people who are not even side characters on your channel? This is some low-cal behavior, Tim. This is why you're a low-cal on the internet, because you're talking about other people's stuff. Why are we hearing about this lady Carol? Why am I knowing Carol's business now? Carol does not want me knowing her business, Tim. Or anybody else on the internet, for goodness sake.
That she's buying now. Her eggs and chicken is all grass-fed and not caged, not prison chickens. They're roamers. They're free to roam. They're not caged. That's what I call non-prisoners.
It just sounds like you're being sold some hype. Sounds like you guys are just, buying into BS. just cannot with this stuff. Can we in 2026 just axe all this nonsense? Can 2026 be the year of axing the nonsense on the internet? All of these claims to coaches and people with, who are literally con artists like Tim, just, trying to figure out how to get the next grift in on YouTube, because he released a video about Social Security with no expertise in Social Security. There was no great secret. If you've ever watched that video, he didn't reveal a thing except for the fact that he is just your average person who received a letter in the mail from Social Security reminding him he could get it at 62. Really, Tim, were you that disengaged with what was happening in the world? You weren't even aware you could get early Social Security at 62? I mean, it's just can't. And ever since that time, and he's been mad, this time last year, it was striking my channel left, right, and center. Tim, but I'm gonna try to get you on that. If you keep talking about that every carnivore diet, I am getting you for disordered eating, and we're gonna bring up the terms of service because Tim violates most of it, guys. So if you really, want to have fun with Tim, have at it with that reporting system. I'm not telling anyone to do it.
Everything is organic, and she always points out the carbs and the sugars, and so she keeps John, and she tries to keep me when I come around her straight and narrow about the healthy ways of living life. And who could argue with her? Who could argue? Have you seen her? I mean, a ball of fire. And she always gives me a hug and everything, just like Fred and Rafaela and Ted and Jolene and so many others.
I think going to any extreme is not good. I was a kind of a skinny kid and I ate a lot of food. So I promise you, everyone was like, you need to get weight. And then they'd actually start feeding me and then they wish they hadn't. Because I'll eat. Just very active. And just choices of food. Like I don't consume red meat. I just felt that there was a lot of, antibiotics, hormones, just different things. I had been working in cardiac. I mean, it's just never really, it was just me and animals too. I mean, it was just a lot of things, Is it for everybody? No, but I do eat a pescatarian diet. So I'm not completely restrictive because that would put me into disordered eating. And the times I have had a more restrictive diet have been for very specific medical reasons, followed by a medical practitioner. For like when I was going into menopause and stuff. So that's a whole different story though. But I don't even have that as content on a channel. Okay. Because everything that was for me was tailored for me, my genetic history, what was happening for me. And so that's for anybody I think who's aging. It's a conversation. A lot of people are starting to take testosterone. I have friends of mine who do take testosterone supplementation. I don't. I've thought about it. I don't know if I'm really a candidate for it. I don't know, if I start to feel more like tired, maybe. I don't know. I feel like every time you do something that's not in line necessarily with how we age naturally, could there be something else? Is it beneficial or harmful? Anyway, it's a conversation. But yeah, Tim has definitely kind of fallen into a trap of just watching and believing. And because he's not educated, he can't have a lot of discernment when he is sifting through information. So he's a very gullible consumer, in my opinion. All right, keep going, Tim.
Love you out there, Bob and Kathy, and so many that I've met that I just want to say this, that it is really this time of year when a lot of people go with their families and things like that. They fly around, people come to see them or whatever, and they're blood and they're a tight family. And I got a tight family too, but it's not a tremendous family like some of you have a big family. I've got my children and I've seen them and talked to them. And but otherwise I am a solo guy, but I'm not alone. But in this time of the year, I really especially appreciate those that extend their warmth and love. And, you know what I'm trying to say. It's really, really touching. It really warms my heart that so many of you contacted me in the comments, emails, gifts, cards, letters, invitations, and all.
And it always makes me interested to know why so many people support somebody who stole $52,400 in the IDL money from the American taxpayer. Because that's basically, when you submit that's basically what you did. And there was a lot of people who did it. There's a lot of people who felt that they were, Tim, one of them. This is why I don't like Sarasota Tim. He really felt entitled to getting that money. And yet he would turn around and tell somebody like a nurse like me, who's a student, that I wouldn't be entitled to even student loan debt relief. After I will let you know, I've paid in interest already what that loan probably was originally. I've probably paid that back in interest over the years. And I've had months where I'm paying hundreds, up in the $600, $700, $800 back in loan payment, and still not seeing really any traction on those loans. I didn't take out a lot. And so for people that actually risk their lives during a time, and he's just the worst in my, your family doesn't want you around at Christmas because you're a narcissist and it'd be all about you, Ted and Jolene, you were supposed to do some work cutting down the palm trees. And I don't even know if you did that because there's something supposed to happen with all these trees. And they were expensive. Teddy and Jolene have noticed that the cost to have the work done with the trees has rose exponentially. And so they said to you, and you said clearly in one of your videos, the kind of exchange for your stay, because you were doing a barter, I guess, is that you were getting to stay there and get your meals and whatever from Miss Jolene, not because you were flattering her, but because you were going to help Teddy with the trees. I don't know. Did he do the trees? I know one day he did. But I don't know. Did he really do them, or did they finally realize he really wasn't going to do the trees and got him out? They cut down the tree. He talked about it a couple of his. Was it just a tree? Was that it? Was a tree? Yes, drop the microphone on that. Yeah, he definitely took that money, man. I don't care. Hit on Chris's sexy wife? Oh, I'm probably. How's the poll doing? Let's see. Where are we at? 70 votes. If we get to 100, let's end this poll. And let me see. We're at 4% for absolutely crushing it, that he's going to hit 100K subs in 2026. He's going to stay the same. Think 21%. And people think 74%, almost 75% think your numbers are going to go down, that you're not going to maintain, Tim, in the year 2026. I know. I'm trying to find out. I found some guy who's absolutely living in his car, homeless, but had been living in the Philippines and stuff. It's quite a story. But I didn't know. I hear he can strike channels really easily. So I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to deal with this guy because he's so bad. You want to think Tim's content boring. You need to see this guy's. Lord of my life. Okay, keep going, Tim.
the things that I've said already twice. So I hate to repeat myself, but I just can't put it in words really how great of a Christmas it was to my children and to my community. How much I appreciate everything where people have been in touch with me. I've even got my neighbors.
Fact checkers, I don't know facts. I haven't watched Tim for days. This is I've been looking at his thumbnail titles. I promise you. My Christmas was not watching Sarasota Tim. I'm watching this. This is a direct, clean, first time watch react, as I'm also reading the comment section. And I want to thank Sammy and Catherine for being here to moderate in the chat too. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it because they do it for free. So be nice to them, guys.
Who have been looking out over my property, picking up my packages and mail that were delivered, watching over everything. I mean, everybody's got my back. And I just don't have the words to explain.
I know how much I can grift out of people. I would not be shocked. Tim says he's absolutely hopeless around the home. Like he can't, why he wants everything brand new because he can't fix anything. So once it falls apart, he got to move on to the next thing because he's never going to take the time to learn to fix it. He hates the idea of doing that. He just, honestly, he wants to be having done no work his life, have had a wife like Jolene pop up out of nowhere on a property that of like this out of just because he, trust fund Nepo baby, I guess. Trump's relative of Donald Trump for the way he talks about that. And then he should just be, out here living this life because he's Tim. Go figure. This is this. And of course, we're all jealous and stuff. No, Tim, we're not jealous. I promise you, I have plenty of friends with beautiful properties and boats and all sorts of stuff that I've also been able to take advantage of and enjoy throughout my lifetime. Okay. Oh my goodness. But I promise you, if I stay with my friends or I visited friends when I used to go to the Outer Banks, there was a time I did stay and my friend had a spare room and I would stay over. And then her kids started to get older and her spare room became an office and stuff. And it just became more difficult for her to have guests stay in the home. And she lived in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina, which everybody knows is in the Outer Banks. And so I would go in the wintertime and book the hotel that's just down the road from where she lives, the Ramada, and get a cheap hotel room. And it just made life so much easier. And I could take the dogs and leave them in the hotel or bring them around with me or whatever to her place or whatever. I think as you get older, you just realize sometimes it's easier just to stay in a hotel. Oh my gosh, Tim. Sorry, keep going, Tim. I'm so glad that you're figuring out how to keep using these people.
And to express how much I do appreciate everything and everyone, no matter what.
Everyone.
So I just wanted to say that. I hope everyone else out there had a safe and wonderful holiday. I know that there is some people in my community that may have some sadness and memories and things that were unfortunate. I know one of my subscribers, just a couple of days before the holidays here, lost his mother, her mother. Aww. And of course, that's sad.
Yeah, and Tim's sad fishing off of his subscribers' grief. Don't ever be fooled by Tim. He showed no compassion towards Bev. None. And really no compassion towards Johnny Vegas, who he knew was getting a heart transplant. And I hope you're doing well. Merry Christmas, Johnny. That he was... and then he went off with this man's golf clubs. Just without a care in the world. I mean, and we've shown the videos where he clearly states he knew they were lent to him. And then that one day in the car park, he joked about they were a gift to him when he was being given all the other stuff by Johnny that day. And this absolute weasel in my mind. How did these people, it's a character trait. And people want to feel sad and sorry because he was going to be alone at Christmas. Now, there's a reason why his kids don't have him over at the house at Christmas. I'm surprised his daughter didn't have him over because I think the other son, he's young. He's not going to feel beholden. The other son doesn't even speak to him at all. So the only one is the poor daughter. And daughters are sick and tired of being the hospice daughter. We don't want to be the hospice daughters anymore. Sorry. No, we don't. We don't want to be the default hospice caregivers to our elderly parents any longer. Our lives are just as important and just as busy, especially if they were, had this type of father.
It's the wrong time of the year. Anytime's the wrong time of the year, but so thoughts and prayers for them, and only God can comfort people in those kinds of situations. I reflected a lot this year on health and realizing how old, since I'm going to be 67, which a lot of you probably say, oh, would I love to be 67 again? And, I get it. Fred still says I'm young. Carol thinks I'm young. A lot of you are maybe older than me, and, whatever. But I do reflect on the fact that, life is brief. You're from 17 to 57, 40 years like that. From 62 to 67, when I started getting my Social Security, like that. I know that in 3 years when
And we still question your amount of Social Security, Tim, because you would have had to have had a really consistently high income. Well, not high, but reasonably a middle class, 60 to 70 grand a year for 30 some years. And you said you filed as little as possible. I cannot imagine that you were getting 60 to 70 grand a year just flocking oil change coupons, because if that were the case, I would have had 1 million people at my door selling oil change coupons if everybody was making that amount of money. Because I remember those people used to come around with deals for like pizzas for sports bars and stuff, and I had a friend of mine's husband who was part of one of these like going door to door with doing these like coupons and doing them for like sports bars and all of these places. And it was a weird thing going on. It was a strange business. Let's put it that way. She divorced him. So I just have a lot of questions about him. And since we know he's pretty okay with filing false paperwork and committing fraud to the US government, because you do not have that oil change coupon business, Tim. And you clearly showed on that paperwork, it was a business. You literally started in 2021 or whatever the year the filing was put in. And I think it was 2021. And that, because it was the time you were living at the Lakewood Ranch apartments with Miss Tammy. And Tammy probably helped you file that paperwork because Tammy worked in the banking business. You wouldn't have been competent enough to have done that. She probably sat there, and the two of you, even though you getting that money, and then you use that to pay off personal debts and loan and to buy personal property, none of which you were supposed to do with that money. That was not the purpose of those loans. Those purpose of those loans are for payroll, business expenses, business properties like computers, all of those things. They're not going to say you getting a new car is part of that, unless it was, you actually, legitimately went through, and you didn't have a business anymore. So there was no reason for them. They need to catch up with you, Tim.
come 70, don't blink, it'll be here. And, I hope that I can be like Carol and many others that are, running circles out there and can still crush life and do what I'm doing. And, nobody's here forever. Nobody's promised tomorrow. And with the fact that, been around a long time, don't have any regrets, really. I've had a great life. I don't think I would do anything different. Of course, I would love extension of life and long health, where I'm able to do even what I'm doing right now at this age, that it would extend for a long, long time. However, the reality of getting older and feeling your aches and pains,
Tim, you supposedly didn't want to spend $45 to catch up about your glaucoma results. And we know that eye's a goner. And then you turn around and spend a bunch of money on a motorcycle. And we know you have nothing saved for retirement. You're not a big shot like that. I think you just think every time you do this, it's going to be something that's going to hit your content out of the park. And I promise you, YouTube's got some really strange stuff going on, which is why I probably should spend more time live streaming. Because if you're just trying to do regular video content, they are all just trying to push out this like AI stuff, like all these videos, like 10 ways to lower your blood pressure. I don't know. But it's like they're like literally like companies that just produce mass amounts of these videos and they get millions of views, hundreds of thousands of views. So, and they're dominating the algorithm at the moment also, Tim. So I don't think that you watch a bunch of YouTube stuff, but I was watching stuff too. But these are people that then show very specifically their specialty hobbies. And unfortunately, you just don't have the setup to do the motorcycle world and stuff. These guys just have insane amounts of money and like properties and stuff. You know, I've seen it recently, like all of these people saving like little aquatic animals. You know, the minute you watch it, you're like, dang, I want to go get an aquarium and save a coxswain and set them up. And, you know, because I promise you, you watch enough YouTube videos, suddenly you're going to want to be, you know, homesteading, planting a garden, and, you know, goodness knows what else. And Tim has definitely tried to do it all. God knows what he's going to be bringing in 2026. But we're going to be showing the fact that if he keeps talking about diet and exercise and stuff, it could get his channel into some trouble.
Do come. I've got the issue with my left eye with the glaucoma. Never did I imagine a couple of years ago when I got my first surgery that it would ever really, you know, get to something that would be, because it's like it wasn't really a bad thing then. They would ever get to any point where it would be concerning. I just heard about a big TikTok or some guy on YouTube. It was one of these influencers who much younger than Tim. He took substantially more, but he also took money and PPP and EIDL, and Tim took PPP and unemployment at the same time, which you were not supposed to do. And then he took EIDL. Make it make sense. And the I mean, the unemployment over a substantial amount of time, $900 a week, that's a lot of money. You know, how long was he getting unemployment for? If you average that out and you think if he was getting $900 a week and just over 52 weeks, that's a substantial amount of money. You add that on top, and he said he was, you know, eligible for the unemployment because his business went down. Yes, but you weren't eligible for the unemployment and the PPP and the EIDL. If your business was closed and that was it, you got the unemployment. That was it. Your business was dead and done. You know, if you were having a business that was trying to keep its doors open, that's where you took the PPPs and the EIDL. If you were a restaurant and you were suddenly, or a bar, and you were suddenly hit by the foot traffic not being in your place of business any longer. Those were the types of businesses. Other, you know, small retail businesses where they were really having to shut their doors. Not a dude flogging oil change coupons door to door. When, I mean, that people had moved away from that business model. I mean, he was probably happy because he was probably feeling older, probably didn't want to walk the streets anymore, probably didn't want to have to keep moving around, because he said he finally didn't have to move around. Anyway, Tim, you're terrible. That's right. It's kind of like when you're young and you think, life's forever, you know, I'm not worried about it. I got plenty time. But now, you know, you can tell my left eye is a little more red, and it stays that way. I got some drops I bought thanks to Miss Jolene, who we searched. I guess I have them back over at my bags, called Liquify. It's a product. Yeah, I don't have my pocket. That doesn't have preservatives. That, you know, because Visine and stuff like that can affect your eye drops and, you know, affect your pressure and be counterproductive.
Is he taking his? Has he stopped taking his prescribed drops? Because you've got to take those prescription drops for glaucoma. There's like two. It depends on the type of glaucoma that you have too. I wouldn't just say some sort of, you know, preservative-free, over-the-counter. Oh, now Jolene coming to his rescue. This is, you know, where people get themselves into all sorts of trouble. I have people asking me questions all the time, like, my husband says I should take magnesium at night because magnesium is going to help me sleep better. Okay, are you deficient on magnesium? I don't know. They just say that magnesium helps you sleep better at night. Well, why are you taking something if you don't know if you're low on it? Just because somebody said online if you take magnesium. You do understand that if you take too much of a good thing, that your kidneys are going to have to do more work. You don't want to be putting more work on your kidneys as you get older. They've already been doing work for years. And if you're taking any other type of medications, these all, well, it depends. But many of them are going to be metabolized. And there's definitely going to be excreted if there's any additional vitamins at all through the kidneys. You're going to put stress on your kidneys. You know, if the eye drops are just to help with the redness, you got to be cautious about that too. Sometimes that's just masking an issue. Not, you know, if you're just because you don't want to show up on camera with a red eye, well, you didn't take care of your eyes. I mean, that's my big thing for 2026. I need a new set of eyeglasses. I got to catch up with my optician. I'm finally out of school. I have no excuses. I got to get my eye plan, and I just got to kick out. I like to get some contact lenses for certain occasions. So on the computer, I really don't like wearing contact lenses. So yeah, and the jaws is supposed to be refrigerated. Yeah. I mean, the one thing that you're going to want to maintain as you age is your eyesight. That is the one thing. I mean, obviously your mobility, but really the thing that will take you into a whole world of not, and they have things that fortunately we are at a time. And yes, I know healthcare is stupid expensive. You're almost better off, just we're not in a great place. But if you can, the one thing that I say that you should take care of, especially because many people have type 2 diabetes and so forth, is your eyes and your teeth. I mean, obviously you should always take care of the rest of your body too. But if one thing as you start to get into your 40s that you should not ignore are your eyes. Even if you think your eyesight is fine, you need to start getting your eyes checked, because they need to start looking behind the eyeballs. They need to look at stuff. And if you do have early signs of glaucoma or any of these things, they do have interventions now that will prevent you going blind. You don't want to have diabetes. Diabetes is one of, especially type 2, one of the leading causes of blindness in our global world. So, and it's not fun to be blind. That will be the one thing would take his channel out and down. So yeah, just take care of your eyes, everybody. Make sure you eat lots of carrots.
So never did I imagine. And like one doctor told me here in Delray, the first surgery, he told me, he says, if you live long enough, you will go blind in that left eye.
I have the,
and I mean, it's only been a couple.
And I'm so mad at myself because I ruined I have the anti-glare for like the computers on here, so that the glare isn't completely. So I do have like that, the ones that kind of protect my eyes. My optician or my ophthalmologist, hey, your eyes are great. I'm like, what do you mean? I have to wear glasses now. But yeah, so yeah, I have anti-glare on here. But one day I think I used some Windex on it by accident one day because I was just wanting to get them cleaned. So now I kind of messed up. But yeah, I got some of these with the anti-glare, and I really do, though I hate the anti-glare because you have to take care of them so specifically. I have to say, when I put on my other glasses that I have, like my backup pair that don't have any like coatings or anything on them, then I do notice that, and I'm sure everybody else, that they're really bright. So as much as I hate the anti-glare, yeah, it's but yeah, take care of the eyes, everybody, because blindness will definitely be the one thing. It was the one thing I really noted with my patients, that as they age, that's the one thing that is going to really hamper your ability to get out and want to do things. Even if your mobility is slightly limited, at least you can maybe get somewhere. For eyesight's, a lot of people, it's the holders. So Tim, I think that's been really not, and I think he may have heard that the carnivore diet reversed things like glaucoma, and that is absolutely false. If anything, Tim, it's going to make it worse.
Well, years. And while I can see out of it, you can just see it's it seems like, I don't know, that it closes a little bit more. It's redder all the time, and it's concerning to me. I'm concerned about seeing. I'm concerned about my appearance. I'm concerned about all of it, and it makes me concerned about like other things. I've already got to go to the dermatologist. I got to remind.
That's interesting that you were tested to need glasses and didn't need glasses, because I can promise you mine was all age-related eyelids. My eyes were fine up till then.
Reminder today.
I don't think the person interpreting the test did a good job then.
That I need to go and do a full body exam. They do it once a year, and thank God I've got the disadvantage plan. And I've got a few places more that need to be whacked, burned.
Older people also have more propensity to diabetes for a number of other reasons involving their hormones, menopause. And obviously, if you are not being able to be as active you're not going to be burning up as much sugar, or you're not going to need to convert as much sugar. Yes, you have muscle loss too. And obviously your muscles is where primary use of your energy from your consumption of sugars in the form of carbohydrates. But you have to have those. So the best thing to do is actually keep up and maintain strength training so you don't have muscle loss. So that's the thing to do, is not to lose, you're going to lose muscle, but the one best preventative is actually the one thing that Tim supposedly was doing, which was lifting weights and stuff, which I don't really know if he was really doing any of that.
Frozen, cut, examined, and darn. But fortunately, the blood pressure, like we did a blood pressure check today over at John and Carol's, the blood pressure is great. And they tried to put me on them Stalin pills back at the cardiologist. And I got to tell you, folks, beware. Third leading cause of death is going to a doctor.
And this is the stuff that gets your channel reported, Tim.
Misinformation and getting, what do they call it? Wrong cures. How do they put it? Medical errors. You go in there, you've had coffee.
He is going to die on this hill. It's not for his age group. I think that's supposedly an overall. And I've seen these statistics, and unless I go to the National Institutes of Health for statistics, I'm not just listening to Tim having pulled up something on Grok. And I promise you, Tim, you make your choices, sweetheart, because I can see how your eye looks. And if you want to fight and die on that hill about your cholesterol, go be it. That's your choice. You don't have to take your medication. Everyone seems to think that this statin pill. Promise you, most cardiologists take that medication. And I promise you, most cardiologists are probably outliving you, Tim.
You're anxious about seeing a doctor to check your blood pressure. You don't elevate your arm. You've already drank coffee. You shouldn't do that. You have a little elevated blood pressure. Oh, let's put you on some blood pressure.
No, they're not going to do that, Tim. This is the stuff that gets you reported, Tim.
Pills. Next thing you know,
he needs to be
that's
off the
no good for
internet.
you. Or they increase your Stalin pills. Maybe you do need them. I'm not going to sit here
and let's go over to this real quick. I want to share this tab real quick, because if you really don't like Sarasota Tim and you don't like his misinformation about diets, there is a way now on the videos. If you go, and I'm going to show you, and this is not saying to you to do this. This is just me explaining things as a content creator. If you really didn't like Tim's content and you felt that at this moment in time, he was talking misinformation or talking about eating disorders, disordered eating. I am a registered nurse here in the United States. I do have over 15 years experience working in healthcare, been probably in the industry longer than that. Part of the reason why I became interested in this is because of misinformation. I look at evidence-based practice, large cohort studies, randomized controlled trials. Tim has no idea what these things are. If you feel that he is showing disordered eating in his video because he's showing his weight, he is talking about his unproven diet, there is evidence to show it is considered to be a disordered eating pattern. I'm hoping we can take these ridiculous carnivore diet folks who are giving a huge amount of misinformation. At this point, I'm just going to report him for misinformation. And then you just hit next. And then I can just say, giving, misleading, I don't know, whatever you want to do. But I'm just saying, you can go ahead and report him. There's ways to do that. Sorry. Oh, I wasn't showing that part. That's good, because YouTube would probably tell me I'm brigading. Okay. All right. So this is what they are saying. YouTube is updating our approach to eating, disordered eating. Let me just try to be better about the language. Content to create space for community recovery resources while protecting viewers. And I feel that Tim is not somebody who could give trigger warnings. He doesn't, he's somebody who is trying to get clicks and views and giving a lot of health misinformation to a population that is quite vulnerable, and also looking for answers to do with health. Because as we age, obviously, we encounter more health-related issues. So this unlicensed, untrained, absolute trash of a human being, in my opinion. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say it. I'm going to. I know it's like a nice thing to say sometimes, but it's true. Should not be out here giving any type of health information and always trying to throw medical professionals. It's just this needs to stop in 2026. I promise you, if Tim started to have major chest pain and sweating, he'd be calling 911. He would not be looking for a YouTube video. And then, so this is what's been happening, is that they're actually updating their policies on eating disordered content, disordered eating behaviors, severely restricting calories, weight-based bullying in the context of disordered eating. Well, that's interesting. There's all sorts of age restricting the videos, eating disorder crisis. There's all sorts of reviews, and anything like this carnivore diet. I'm sorry, this needs to be thrown right in here, because this diet is just, there's no actual evidence to it. So that's just my thoughts. And I'm sticking to it. I know a lot of people get very upset, but when you're part of a cult, even an eating cult, then you're gonna, get a whole group of rabid people. All right, Tim, keep going.
Debate and argue about the benefits or no benefits, or how beneficial it is to eat right and exercise to help you with your life, extending your life. But to me, I told Jolene just this afternoon, we took 2 walks 3 miles long, 2 mornings in a row.
Right.
And this morning I went to have breakfast. And last night we ate good. You saw what it was. It was delicious. And there were some desserts. And I indulged. I'm not going to be sitting here saying, I know that brownies and sugar isn't good for you, but it's the holidays. And she made them. Does that mean I have to eat them? No. But I did. And
this is another reason why I just find all of your talk around diet and health, it's just disingenuous, Tim. It's disingenuous. I seriously thought about doing a channel more, showing my daily life and my things around health, because I generally have very good health. The things that I'm kind of encountering are a lot of things to do with hereditary stuff. And obviously I have a background, obviously, as a registered nurse. But then I'm thinking, there's so many, it's just like, unless you're saying something that's really outrageous, or you have this very catch to the diet. For example, carnivore. Yeah, I can solve everything by just eating grass-fed butter and eggs and fatty red marbled meat. Does that really truly make sense to anybody? Does that truly, and everything that everybody has said all over these years has just been absolutely, not even true, And then we have all of this evidence that shows that diets that are heavily based in red meats or causing for colon cancer. Oh, that's because of this, that, and the other. It's just grifters, people. It's snake oil salespeople. And Tim is just a guy who's going to get the last box of the snake oil and try to sell it out to people, because he's not the creator of the snake oil, but he's certainly the vendor of it.
We would again next year, but it's never too late to begin. And so I told her tomorrow morning before I leave back to Sarasota, let's get that walk in. Before I sit in that saddle on my butt, for 3 or 4 hours tomorrow, let's get us a walk.
As many times as he feels like he needs to get his audience back. Some of his Jim Bowers and all these carnivore diehards and stuff, I think some of those ones have dropped off, other than Bubba, who's been around forever and a day. It's probably because Bubba doesn't actually talk to Tim in real life. Or maybe he does. Maybe Bubba is Tim.
Okay, let's get some steps. And she's all too glad to do it. She's a big time walker. She said she's been lax too. She's got so many things she's doing here on the property.
96
and Teddy does
guys.
His, but his walking distances is limited. He's recuperating still from his heart murmur. He fell off the dock here and broke his feet.
Good morning, darling. Happy Christmas season. Happy New Year also, everybody. Let's see what Darling has to say. We all know Darling. Good to see you, darling. Tim just wants to feel good and is looking for any rationalization to justify his terrible choices. Yeah, Tim is looking right there with that lighting. He looked rough. Tim, don't you understand? all of these people, the problem is, Tim, you're not even approaching this. You're listening to the people talking about carnivore diets and stuff, and you're not even doing the right stuff. How are you not down the hormone clinic getting testosterone replacement and stuff? If you really wanted to stay looking young and feeling young, that's what all these guys are doing, Tim, is replacing their testosterone. All you do is complain about flow issues and the price of medication. Tim is one of these people. He'll spend $26,000 on a motorbike for vanity reasons, hope to get content reasons, because he has to have a play toy reason, because the money's burning in his bank reason, burning a hole in his pocket. You know, I'm Tim. I'm going to do me, whatever the reason is, you know. But he really doesn't spend good amounts of time and effort on his health, you know, because like if he really wanted to stay young and do all that, he really would be, you know, doing a lot more. I think he's still trying to make the money on the channel. And you can't film in these gyms and stuff anymore. People are sick of it. What's Chuck saying? Oh, hey, Angel. Happy I'm back. Happy Christmas. Tim Seacup. Bubba and TRD are a joke. I know. I'm like, God, there's another one. Your friend Robert. Is that the new one? I think he left like 20 comments for Tim the other day. He's a high calcium. Yeah, if it's really that high, he is a ticking time bomb. I mean, this does not look like a man who's slept well at tight points, pants point, wherever he at. But yeah, if you feel that Tim's having disordered eating in one of his videos, feel free to let YouTube know. They've been demonetizing a lot of channels recently for it. Just to let you know. And they've had to lose their money for 3 months or more. Maybe not get their money back. So he could still put out videos, but he won't see money. And so if you think Tim is doing dietary harm or disordered eating out there, just let you know. YouTube frowns on that stuff now. They really do. He should not. No, he shouldn't. He should see his doctor. He gets 20 to 30 comments. Oh, God. Well, every once in a blue moon, I get some of the doozies that he deletes. I just have to get in there quick. Yeah, yes. I think Sammy had to probably head out, but I know she started with where are we? I think we can almost close this poll down. Oh, 98 votes. Okay, good. Because I think I wanted to do another one. I should have written the other one down. Oh, I can't remember. Oh, something about Ted and Jolene, probably. Oh, that's right. We'll think of something. We'll think of a new poll. All right, keep going, Tim. I can't wait for 2026.
And he's doing great. And he's going to be on the 28th of January, 79 years old. What about my friend Fred? 85, crushing it. He'll be 85. 85 or 86. He's definitely crushing it. Sharp as a tack. Can't wait to get back and see Raphael and him, spend some time, have coffee. My life is great. I got great people in my life. And I hope that you have great people and support.
Tim's hoping they'll all leave him something in their wills. Tim's like, I'm just slightly younger than they are. Maybe they'll leave me something. Tim, they're not leaving you anything. Fred leaving everything to Raffaella. Okay. Raffaella leaving everything to the kids. So I know you're just going to have to. You're going to have to just. And I don't even know if Ted and Jolene have kids. But I just, you know, Tim just, I feel. I know they're probably his friends. I'm always joking that Tim ingratiating himself on elderly folks in the hopes that he'll get named a beneficiary somewhere along the line. Because he didn't get anything from his own family. Tim, I think you're just going to have to dream.
And love and great health and the best wishes of 2026. And if there's anything you can improve on in your life and your attitude and in your health, some habits you need to quit, smoking, drinking as much.
It's probably why he's getting back for his birthday. Raffaella's probably cooking him his favorite Italian meal for his birthday. Or maybe they're going to crack out more of the Cracker Barrel gift cards and share them with Tim. Because Tim has been on the great Christmas grift this year, the Griftmas of 2025, where he like started at Thanksgiving with the Cracker Barrel meal and he's just grifted his way through Florida with all of his friends after spending $26,000 on a motorbike. And Tammy's like, hell no, I'm not paying for a cruise this Christmas. Maybe she'll give him a cruise for the new year for his birthday. You know, if we see him on a cruise boat, we know Tammy paid for, sprung for a cruise. Where are we at the giveaway? Yay, we're at 100 votes. We're ending the poll, and I'm going to think of a new poll while we keep watching Tim. All right, so thank you, guys. I appreciate getting to 100 votes. I'm going to give away some free Life and Vibe memberships, so say thank you for that. They will actually go down. So the question was, will Sarasota Tim hit 100K subscribers on YouTube in 2026? Because we know that he is desperate for that plaque. It is going to be his greatest achievement. It is the sign that he is the great YouTuber in chief that he knows he is. 70%, Tim, actually think your numbers are going to go down in 2026. And YouTube's algorithm is changing, so it's a whole different landscape. No, they'll stay the same. 26% think. So you'll hover around that 67.6, 67.7K mark, all year round. And then lastly, will Sarasota Tim hit 100K subscribers on YouTube? Absolutely. Crushing it, baby. Only 4% think that, Tim. Only 4%. Make sure that you hit the likes. Make sure that that you've hit whatever, there's a button in YouTube, maybe underneath this video in the chat section, that allows you to be gifted free memberships. So if you make sure that you hit that button, I don't know if I can show it on my video because Tim doesn't give memberships on his channel, but there's a way. So make sure that you've hit that button and that you've participated in the chat. Make sure to do that because every month I do give away 10 Life and Vibe memberships to the channel just as a thank you for you guys being awesome. And I really appreciate you being here and being understanding, especially about my having to push this live stream. I realize I'm better at 11 than 7 o'clock at night. This is a better hour for me. I'm a morning person. All right, let's go. All right, so Ridge Runner, you got is it a join button? There's something near it that says you will take free memberships, and I can't remember. I'm so sorry, Don Ray. I know there's a way to do it. Ridge Runner, Payday 2 Day, Candace Young, awesome, Pixie Dragon, Jennifer. Oh, this is awesome. This is some of my foodie verse. I might do foodie tonight. I might do a double stream since I don't have to do any schoolwork tonight. Yay! Yeah, congrats, folks. Congratulations. Congratulations. I'm going to think of a new poll. Oh, I think we're talking about, I need to think of a new poll question. Okay, keep going, Tim.
Getting more exercise, all these things to extend your life. If it does nothing but make you happier, where you're not dragged down from sugar crashes and things like that. It's amazing how life can be. And you don't need stuff or things to happen. You just need to feel good.
Good to see you. Happy New Year.
Nothing better. Health is wealth. Until you get to be our age and, you realize that you see.
Tim, you're like just 10 years older than I am. And you just make it sound like you're so old. I am just, praise be to God that in 10 years, I am not sounding like the old man that Tim is. And I know I've had things like I can see that I'm getting really quite, distinct osteoarthritis in my hands, and I'm not surprised because it's something very common in my family. And I'm just like, God, please no. And I'm just always like putting heat treatments, and I'm just always looking to see if they finally going to get that injection that you can get that takes away the inflammation. I promise you, whereas Tim is like fearful of stuff. I'm like, get me the shingles vaccine. I don't want shingles. Let me make sure my eyes are checked. Let me get this done. Let me get that done. Let me do all this stuff earlier than later. I don't want to do this stuff in my 60s when it's already, having things already, with my body, having it aging, your body is going to age. So I'm like trying to think what things, but you don't, but there's certain amounts that you can go over the top. And obviously we're limited on research for certain things, obviously, things like, hormone replacements and things do interest me. Though I do wonder about side effects, it's like everything. But I just feel that, this was a conversation that, you do have to have throughout your life. You can't just like work the body too hard and then wake up with it beaten up in the 60s and expect it to be good. And a lot of times our jobs and stuff can be physically draining. I know when I had to work night shift for a long time as an RN and doing 12 hours overnight, it was absolutely wreaking havoc with my blood sugars and just everything. I mean, I was perpetually exhausted. It didn't matter. Even when I had time off, I felt just it's very hard. Some people love that rhythm. I've known people that done nights for years and they absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. They wouldn't change it for the world. They love working night shift. I was not a night shift person, I promise you. I mean, I performed at nights, but I just never could sleep right in the day. It is just, but as much as you can, take care of everything.
These young people, and you're like, they're
much
they hope they
healthier
pay
than we
attention.
are.
They think they got forever, and they got a lot longer than we got, likely. But what we
Oh,
have
God.
left, we can really crush it. We can really enjoy
He
it.
would have terrible headaches. No, these young people are far healthier than we are, Tim. We were terrible. Our generation all smoked and drank and did drugs and all sorts of stuff. Okay. Our generations were pretty like party happy, these young kids now. Okay. Now they get into some other stuff, but they like to go to the gym and be healthy more. They're not drinkers. Okay.
If we get serious, this is not just some talk. You got to do it. You got to be cognizant of what you're doing, what you're thinking, where you go, who you hang out with, how you talk, how you treat people. I can see the blessings that are coming to me in the last few months from hopefully the good seed that I tried to sow. I try to do.
Well, as long as you keep that button hit, Ann, and if you want to share in the chat how you did that, because I can't remember how to do it. I know I've done it on other channels in the comment section, how to get that for other people on this channel who don't know how. Because other people also gift memberships on this channel. Come in and gift them. I know that live streaming is probably the way to go, because if you're doing video content and stuff, YouTube, unless you're, like I said, in a real sort of like, doing something really imaginative, like some of these young folks are, like saving animals that need homes and building little animal homes. There's a ton of these like younger creators. I found one that he recently moved to North Carolina and he's got all these little guinea pigs and rabbits and little puppy dogs and stuff. It's the cutest stuff. And I know it's lonely for these creators too, because they have to produce content every day. Anyway, Tim just no imaginative. He's just out here talking gratitude, golf, and good friends with a present and reminding everybody it's his birthday. And, buy me a coffee, send out an email, reminding us creators to keep reminding people to send us stuff. And then they themselves were going to be gifting out monies to their favorite creators, like probably the ones bringing them the most amount of money.
The best I can. You try to do the best you can, and you probably see blessings coming in your life. I see the blessings in other people's lives. I see the blessings in my daughter's life from all the good that she does. And Fred and Rafaela, and John and Carol are so blessed. They have a beautiful home here in Boynton Beach. And they came from nothing. They like to tell the story. Ted and Jolene. Ted will tell you. He had nothing. He built everything he's got. He earned it. And he stays outside. Staying inside is not healthy. Being outside in the air and doing things.
Oh, we know Tim has prostate issues. He carries a urinal in the car. That urinal. Tim, I hope you clean that thing out. Oh, nasty.
is healthy. It's good for you. And that's why when I tell people about collecting Social Security at 62 and getting out of the job still working though, doing something. It doesn't even have to be outside, but cut your hours back to where you can. You know, gardening, walking, be on the beach, going to a park, reading a book, sitting in a chair like Teddy does out here at the end of the dock. And nobody has to encourage him. He knows. He's been doing this for years. And when I see this, this is what.
Thank you, Anne, for sharing that. I knew there was something like that. See, Tim, unfortunately, I couldn't show on Tim's channel because Tim doesn't have memberships. But thank you for showing that. Maybe I should show it on my own channel. But thank you. Thank you for explaining that. That's very kind, because if I would love for people to get those if they're being offered. Someone as full of himself as him. Oh, and this is his time of year to really feel it, you know, because it's his birthday time. And I'm hoping my channel forgives me for having postponed stuff. I'm going to have to go some foodie beauty tonight or something. I won't announce it, though, until I'm like absolutely sure. Because if I go to shopping or something and come home and feel tired, I may not feel it. Well,
Why I know. Oh, by the way, let me show you. This is that boat. Let me turn the camera. This is the boat that's down in the two Georges that you go out on. You pay so much money, and you can go down. It goes down about a mile in the direction it's heading to the banana boat, and not to the banana. It comes from the banana boat. It goes to the key lime house, and you can get off, or you can wait for it to return and get back on. I think your admission's good for the whole day. It's very inexpensive. And I think they might have a drink or two minimum, Coke or a beverage, adult beverage. I'll wait for it to come behind the boat there. I've always wanted to do it, but I've never done it. And it goes way down the intercoastal there. But there it goes. So it's got some music on it. These people are having a great time. All these tourists that are here right now, the snowbirds, they probably did it last year. And now it's the day after Christmas. Say, hey, let's go down to the banana boat and get on the, I don't know, whatever it's called there.
Tim never does anything unless somebody else is paying for it. I swear, he never went to Dollywood, did he? On this trip to Key West, I mean, he was in and out. Like, he did not want to pay for a campsite, not even a cheap old campsite. Second, he could think about turning himself around and, you know, asking Teddy and Jolene if he could come by. Because I wonder, like, was that always his plan? Or was it, like, sprung on them? You know, and he happened to sort of say, hey, I'm in the area, and you know, and they just like, oh, well, if you can help with it. I know he said that part of his stay was helping with the tree or whatever, because he really stayed. I mean, like, he definitely wanted to get away from his RV neighbors. That's for sure.
Inexpensive. And so people are having a good time. People are having a good time.
That's one of my
I'm having a good time.
questions,
Look at that. That's definitely having a good time. It was so warm today, like 80 degrees, sunny, 78 is what it was on the golf course. Just amazing. Low humidity. And then now it's in the shade and the heater's getting a little lower. I can feel it. We have these.
It's not like he hasn't been sent thousands of dollars. Hey, darling. Darling says he said he wanted to ride that boat, but he's never done it. He's too cheap. I know. He always here. I mean, this is just like one of these things. I mean, we love seeing Florida. It's beautiful. I love the video on the beach. He was throwing a frisbee to himself. He didn't. It was, oh my gosh. Flomax. Oh yeah. I've had a lot of patients prescribe Flomax. That's a very common prescription medication to help with urinary retention issues to do with an enlarged prostate. So, because a lot of times, you know, that's not, you know, there's always a conversation with your medical provider around, you know, testing for prostate cancer. And because a lot of, you know, false positives and other different types of results. So, but Tim, we don't know if he's taking anything because the one thing he wants to show off that he doesn't take is statin medications. And of course, somebody who's eating a carnivore diet, like, well, I want to be on a statin medication, you know, that seems to be antithetical to their whole sort of belief system with this restricted disordered eating. When you really truly believe that eliminating huge amounts of food groups when you are not a carnivore by nature is absolutely just some mental gymnastics that you have to do. Absolutely mental gymnastics and trying to convince yourself that because these animals eat these nutrients that you somehow get that through eating a piece of flesh. No, it doesn't work that way. You get whatever nutrients is in that flesh. You're not getting, fiber and other things that you need to shift stuff out your colon. We're going to end up having like huge amounts of colon cancer again because of this, and in fact, colon cancer has been increasing. And they always want to say it's oh my God, I just can't. You're always going to have a conspiracy theory. Yes, eating a bunch of ho-hos and, packets of crisps and cans of Coke and processed garbage. No, it's not going to ever be good for you. It's not. You're always going to be better off eating food. Is our food less nutrient rich than it was 100 years ago? I mean, we have totally different farming practices, and they're mass farming practices. And they, there's some good that comes along with it, probably because we can produce mass amounts of food for huge populations. And there's probably some bad that goes with it because they use huge amounts of horrible pesticides and God knows what else. Yes, we all know this stuff. I promise you, having, the world's most limited types of diets. Oh, you can't. Pringles and energy drinks. I mean, I thought as a kid, that's all you had to live on. I promise you. As a teenager, I was definitely on at one point the 2 packets of Worcestershire flavored crisps, a can of Panda Cola, and a double-decker chocolate bar. And if you're from the UK, you know exactly what that diet looks like from the tuck shop. It wasn't even from the cafeteria. I used to literally go to the tuck shop and get that stuff, and I probably could get it for £1. Panda Cola. It's not even the good stuff. And then I think I realized at some point, it was much as, 2 packets of Worcestershire flavored crisps, a can of Panda Cola, and a double-decker were. It was not life-sustaining food. And then I made a huge shift and decided that the one thing that I was going to try to not eat a lot of was like fast food and takeout. And my friends used to get driven nuts by it because I couldn't just eat. Yeah, there was a diet of champions. Absolutely. That's what happens when your mom gives you lunch money in the UK. And then I found this bakery that used to do handmade like rolls and egg salad and all like this stuff. And I realized that I'd rather get the homemade egg salad rolls from this nice bakery they opened up in my village on my way to school and grab some of that stuff and take it to school for lunch than eating the stuff from the tuck shop. And I suddenly realized that, and I just ate a lot of vegetables and weird stuff that my friends didn't eat. And I kind of stuck that way, and I was always kind of teased for it, but I was okay about it. I got off the breakfast of champions. But I promise you, we all go there at one point.
Wonderful drops in temperatures now that we never have in the summer. It stays 80, 85 all night long. And you're out here sweating. Mosquitoes. This is great. And I'm literally in the best spot in the entire United States of America. And so I am blessed. And then tomorrow when I return to Sarasota, it's going to be more of the same. A lot of us had to. It sure is special here. Right here at 29.
I think a lot of us had to really hustle when we had a whole, it was definitely, I think, and it has either damaged us in some ways and made us very resilient in other ways, I believe. A lot of our families didn't have a lot. We were expected to be quite resilient at a very early age and, make money. I remember mowing lawns and babysitting and doing everything. So I know a lot of us share that in common. I think Tim was just always trying to find easy money, though. And it's just like, you can always tell that person, and it's Tim.
Palms and tight pants point across from Susan Leachy's ex-house. Yeah, that was her house right there. All the other famous people living over here in Ocean Ridge.
Hey, X, I can't finally made it.
We're right across the street. We're doing the same thing in old Florida, baby. I read some of your comments in there about how you really appreciate Teddy and Jolene keeping this place.
Oh, that's awesome. Look out for Sarasota Tim's video. You can, link your, I don't mind if you link your channel down below, sweetheart, or one of my moderators wants to link your channel. Go ahead. I share the love. Yeah, I have, like I said, I have my editors doing a 10-minute video on Tim's lowlights for the year. We'll see what happens. We'll see what he comes up with. I told him like the areas that I wanted him to cover, like the main lowlights of 2025, which Tim had quite a few. I think this is one of his, I mean, his channel numbers, when you look at the difference, I mean, it's wild. But he puts out so many videos a day. I mean, other creators on this channel would just be flabbergasted with what this man does. I'm surprised more creators haven't called this guy out.
Old Florida, old school.
Yes.
Sit down right here a minute.
On the channel.
He comes out here and lays down and takes a nap. Always a breeze. Here goes that boat. Look.
Oh.
Cruising along. Big, long pontoon boat. This is all
Timothy Ray Baker. I hate to say, but his middle name is the same as mine. But not
and Jolene.
the same.
All the way out to here. All this.
Thank you, Catherine.
My good friend Mike. The other day I made a video. Mike went with somebody on that big sport fisher that went by to the Bahamas on Christmas Day to deliver it to a lady that owns that boat that has a house in the Bahamas. And
you could get a lot of money from that business. I had an aunt and an uncle, great aunt and uncle actually, who he had been a fighter pilot in the U.S. military in the 50s and 60s. And when they retired, I think in the sort of late 70s, early 80s, they opened up what they called a captain's business. And so they used to teach wealthy people. They lived out in Annapolis, and they would teach wealthy people how to be the captains of their boats. And they basically they had also a home in Naples, Florida, and they spent their time like, taking these people's boats up and down to the Bahamas and back and all the different, islands down there. And, they made a lot of money. I know my great uncle, sorry, it was my mother's uncle, sold the business for a good amount of money, and did very well for himself with that business. Obviously had connections because he had been a U.S. military officer and so forth, So in a business worth millions. So there is money to definitely be made. But Tim, you have for having been in Florida, you have no real boating experience.
him and I believe two other guys, one of Mike's friends and then the guy driving the boat, they all took it to the Bahamas. And the story was, I was expecting some blue boat to go by. I wasn't sure. I thought it was another Mike too that we know. I got confused when I ran out here to make the video. But anyway.
Yeah, so everybody he like passes by is like his best friend ever. That's always a sign to be weary of somebody, okay? If you've not known them for a very long amount of time and they're saying that they're your best friend, then just be be careful, be cautious. I do have another poll I'm going to set up just before we finish out this live stream. Make sure you hit the likes. Get me up the algorithm. And my apologies for kicking this Sarasota slop down the road. It is so much slop. I couldn't handle it. I don't really like to put Ted and Jolene on blast like that either, because I think they're nice people. And I feel like Tim just shows up on their property. If he comes out of this visit without a black eye, we'll have to wonder who he didn't visit this time, because he got a black eye last time he was in Boynton Beach, everybody. All right. So the question is going to be, is Tim going to Fred and Rafaela's tomorrow night for his birthday dinner? Is Tim going to Fred and Rafaela's? Do we know yet? I don't know. We know tomorrow's his birthday. We know he had to leave Boynton Beach. Where else would he be going to other than back to Bradenton? We know he's not going back to Key West. Is he going to go and get a birthday dinner with Fred and Rafaela? Is that the video we're getting? Is Tim, because, is he also got birthday gifts being delivered? But that would be a Sunday. Or that's, if he's going back today, wouldn't he be able to pick up anything that was sent to him? Going to have birthday, have his birthday dinner with oops, I can't spell with Fred. I'm just gonna put Fred and Raph. So just because I don't think I can spell Raffaella. Raffaella. Is that how you spell Raffaella? No, that's telling me I'm not spelling it right. Okay. So I got it. Okay. So in Bradenton. And now that could be anything. He could be going to get them to use up their Cracker Barrel gift certificates. It's a yes, it's a no. And the third option is that's how you spell Bradenton. Brandenton. Oh, I didn't spell that wrong. Sorry. The third option is he's going to hang out with his neighbors at the RV park, even though he called them drunks and shopaholics. He's partying with his neighbors, with his neighbors on the slab. At the RV park. I don't want to say slab. Oh, no, it's going to be too long. He's partying with his neighbors. All right, that's all it's going to let me do. Partying with his neighbors. Okay, that means the neighbors at the RV park that he called alcoholics and shopaholics. He really did. So he's probably avoiding them like the plague. All right, before we end today's show, I don't want to keep anybody for more than his birthday is Monday. Is it Monday? I thought his birthday was the 28th, darling. I thought his birthday was the 28th. Is it the 29th? I thought it was the 28th of December. Is it the 29th of December? Because I thought it was the 28th. So he's definitely heading home for his birthday, though. That's for sure. His birthday's Monday. I know darling probably knows their facts better than I do. Let's all buy him a new pee bottle. Hey, don't send him any buy me a coffee money. We'll just get him happy. He'll take it. It's the 29th. Thank you. 12/29. Thank you. See, I'm so in love with Tim. I can't even remember his birthday. We're going to have to celebrate Tim's birthday then. I might have to do a birthday live stream. I know I have to work that day, but I don't have classes. I wish I didn't have to work. I got to work, and that's the thing that they actually say. And that's kind of how I think I'm trying to do my getting older routine, is that I've moved to part-time work, which is 33 hours a week, which is still full-time in other countries. But in the United States, for my mental health, I've taken myself from a 5-day work week to a 4-day work week because I have other work to do, which is taking care of my home, which is a property investment. So I kind of, it's the driving that just gets to me, and just the sort of routine. So I think I have been reading studies. It's not really like you should give up everything like the way Tim says, because I think that you still have to have, and this is where Tim kind of misses and why he wants to pop. Well, Tim's an extrovert. Tim is going to get his energy from being around people. He's the energy taker, Tim is at his happiest. He's at his most full of him, Tim self, when he's like out here and having Jolene cook him breakfast, and he's, being around people. And when he's not around people, like when he was starting to get around his neighbors at the RV park, his mood started to elevate. And that's because Tim's an extrovert, in my opinion. And the moment they obviously, because he obviously advertised his thing, and he forgets that they go on YouTube. They're not just going to find his channel. They're going to find my channel, Darling channel, Dinger's channel, Sarasota Rim's channel. They're going to find, it's my favorite friend. It's Cougar San. Happy Christmas, Cougar San. I know Jesus was deep in your life this Christmas. I'll show you years of bliss. Yeah, donate. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can. There's the coffee fund to donate to. It's right there. And I actually had some very interesting donations this year, and I'm going to save that for a special video. I keep telling people. Because I actually had some of Tim's supporters. And thank you guys. You know who you are, and I really appreciate you very much because they were very kind and gave me very generous coffee donations. Because they just enjoy the drama and the fun anyway. So thank you guys. It all went to the pups. And I meant to make a special Christmas message from us guys, but the bonus of not being a full-time YouTuber like Tim and massively important influencer is that I can just say, okay, take time off, because YouTube doesn't, live streaming channels are completely different from a lot of the YouTube stuff. So it's just a whole different world. And these these organizations and companies, obviously they're going to reward those creators who are continuously putting out content in some ways. But I feel like Tim has exhausted his algorithm. If he was just, he's exhausted his algorithm. He's going to crush it. You think he's going to crush Fred? Well, he's got to get that special. Yeah, and there's Darling. We're going to advertise. Thank you for doing that, Angel. I appreciate that. Let's see where we are with the poll. 35 votes. You guys are awesome. Keep giving votes. If you give me a vote, give me a like. Is Tim going to have his birthday dinner with Fred and Raphael in Bradenton? Nobody thinks he's partying with his neighbors. Tim, you can't call them drunks and shopaholics like that. I need to find that video. I couldn't believe it when he said that. I was like, whoa. I mean, he obviously, they must have said something to him that got under his skin. We're not going to ever see him with those neighbors again.
Mike, that owns this boat right here, the Contender, texted Jolene, said, hey, tell Tim I had to go over there and get a video if he wants. So this cool boat, this sport fish, we're delivering it to the Bahamas to the lady that owns it.
Well, they might have asked him about that EIDL. Maybe some people don't like the fact that he defrauded the American taxpayer of $52,400 just on the EIDL. Because he had to submit false paperwork. And I'm still kick myself because I had a copy of that UCC filing because I had a way to get through it through one of these sites. I'll try to dig it up again. I kept some of it. Obviously, I have the number so we can see where the loan is. But I actually had, and I don't know why I didn't download I don't know what I was thinking at the time. Probably had too much going on. But he had it clearly stated where he talked about, and he has to resubmit his filing in 2026. It's like every 5 years, he has to show that this money went to specific things to do with his business. I guess he just thought he could fold this business up. I'm like, oh, well, I've got $52,400 that I'll just pay $300 a month, and that's okay. I mean, I just, the absolute balls of it, really.
Ultra wealthy lady. And they are flying back. In fact, he's going to be back.
Oh, you
We're
did?
spending a couple of days there. I think he said on my birthday, the 29th, and was offering me to go out on the Contender here and just go around, go out in the ocean, up to people.
Yeah, Timmy has people that he worked out he can use. And when it's time for him to actually reciprocate, he'll do the minimum. Like he knew with Ted and Jolene, maybe that Teddy talked about the tree or something, and he offered to help with the tree, with a place to stay. But, that was like, if you only helped with one tree and they were still doing the tree and Jolene was still helping you with the tree, I don't think that was multiple nights of free stay and breakfast at a place like this. He is definitely the friend that, and is he going to come by with a bag of groceries? I mean, they know he makes money off of this channel, despite whether they have money or not. That's not the point. I remember even when I stayed at my friends and didn't stay at my friends, just visited my friends, stayed at a hotel, and we were doing things for Christmas Eve or a holiday or something. I would go and stop because I didn't have Trader Joe's down there and buy a bunch of just crud from Trader Joe's, like all the party type foods. Load up with that stuff, you name it, because things in the Outer Banks can be a little bit more expensive supermarket wise, but just goodies, goodies, you know, because my friend had kids and stuff. Why am I going to put, you know, it's in my generation that wasn't done. And, you know, it just wasn't. I think we grew up poor enough that Gen X, you know, you better, you know, come with some stuff in your hand. You know, I know that Tim, I feel like, is just the empty-handed guest and empty promises of helping out with the property and stuff. It's just a ruse. He's a lazy SOB.
You know, the
I'd
island
never
in
have him
Palm
on my
Beach, Single
property.
Island there, very famous place. And or out to Boyne Inlet here, down to Boca or the Banana Boat for lunch, whatever he likes to do, he does it all. He's a retired fireman.
Right. And as we know, any of that's, you know, Teddy wasn't wanting to spend a bunch of money to get those palm trees taken care of this year. He expressed that the price had gone up exponentially. And Tim had mentioned that in the video. For what I watched very little, but I watched a little bit. And if Teddy is having health issues, everybody knows the United States has a messed up healthcare system at this moment in time. And we have not figured out a way to really rein in the costs where they need to be done. There's too many, in my opinion. When you have too many middlemen involved in something, then obviously you've got too much money going to people who aren't really providing the service. You have like pharmacy managers and all. It's just like, why? Why do we have all these middle, you know, and there's all these businesses manage to create themselves and insert themselves saying that they're going to save people money at the end of the day. And it's just somebody else taking money that gets more money passed on to the consumer. These are just my opinions as somebody who works in healthcare. Because those of us who work in healthcare genuinely care about people getting healthcare, which is what irritates me so much about people like Sarasota Tim, who try to demonize people who have spent their lives in healthcare, especially nurses who don't make a ton of money, Tim. Okay? I do okay. And obviously I, choose to work part-time because I am getting older. And I do know that in order to live a little, to not totally wear myself out and be able to care for myself in some way, I can't push myself to those amounts of work like I used to. And it's just a lot. I just, and it's just, I don't need to exhaust myself. I'm not winning any awards. But this man been lazy his whole life. Oh,
and the guy that went with him, that's right, the buddy of his is a detective. And
I know.
Yeah, they're going to fly back. So they get the hookup, knowing the rich people. He's been, born and raised here, Mike. So he knows a lot of people. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Ride over to the Bahamas in a sport fisher, big diesel boat like that, and you get into the Bahamas and that amazing swimming pool.
Shoot, 12 is just what we're told. It's much longer than 12. I promise you. I've had some of those shifts go for 20 some hours. Easily, days in a row. When we've been short of hand and stuff, and we've been and you don't have anybody coming to the floor, and you're the charge nurse, and you don't have another charge, and you have a bunch of new nurses and patients that are crashing, and you're the only person who can go do something else in another part of the hospital, and you've got to get that done before you can even clock out. I've been places that, where I started my day at 6:30 in the morning, and I've been at 2 in the morning starting people's IV ports on a cancer patient to go home and get therapies because they needed that line put in to discharge them in the morning, and I was the only person who could put it in them, because not everybody can do every procedure at a hospital. And I couldn't leave until I had that done. I had so much other stuff. I couldn't get over to that floor till it was 2 in the morning to put that thing in that man. And then I still thankfully, I don't think I had to be at work the next day. But I've had days where I've gone that late and I've had to be back on that floor the next morning at 6:30 and go for another 12 to 13, 14 hours. And physical work, thinking work too. Trying to make decisions about people who might be medically crashing and a lot of stuff going off. And people then want to get upset why we're not bringing the Coke cans into people's rooms. There's a lot that goes on. A lot. That's why it's, you only have a certain amount of time where you really want to work those floors and make your money. Because it's stressful.
Blue, clear water over there. When I used to go on my cruises and I would come into the Bahamas, it would be just absolutely amazing. And so, and he
Cougar
catches
Sam,
the heck out of fish.
anything
I
that
showed you
Tim
this.
gives is the same old slop on the internet every freaking day of the week, 10 times a day, in the hopes that he can make some YouTube bag. That's it. We know that. Cougar Sand's just my favorite troll. We don't ban Cougar Sand. Cougar Sand's my favorite troll.
Boat here. He's got the outriggers. And that's a fishing boat. They go out here and this is the fishing capital of the world, right outside that inlet right there, Boynton Inlet. And catch wahoo, sail, dolphin, which is mahi-mahi. We call it dolphin here.
Oh, God, Tim. Tim talking about a life he doesn't live anymore. Tim, you live on a slab at an RV park in Bradenton with liabilities you bought with the U.S. taxpayers' money.
Cobia, everything. Snapper, grouper, all of it. And this is where I grew up. This is what I did. I did my share of it.
Oh, no.
And now I have OPHs, other people's.
Oh, no. Angel Mission has been with me as one of my moderators for a long time. Angel Mission, definitely not Cougar Sand. Angel Mission's been with me since Foodie Beauty days.
I got OPBs, other people's boats. And it's great. It's really great. John and Carol. Come on over. You don't want to.
Oh, shoot. I promise you, they don't care. These hospitals, because they don't care. I had it during the Panini time, because I was working in specialty inpatient hospice at a specialty location. And so I would take care of the sickest people that were passing away of different disease processes. So you had to have a knowledge of a lot of different types of medical diseases because you were helping people, right? So you kind of had to know whether it was end-stage kidney disease, end-stage cancers, and different types of cancers, end-stage cardiac diseases, different types of cardiac diseases. You could have people, I was always having to make sure that people were taken off of their pacemakers and stuff because you don't need these things staying magnetized and shocking people when they're trying to die. So you've got to literally get like specialty people in, and you don't want to just worry about a magnet hanging on there because what if lo and behold that magnet comes off and now the pacemaker is back, the defibrillator, I should say, is back up and running because the pacemaker is never going to get switched off, but it's the defibrillating part that you don't want shocking a patient any further, and you have to think about all of these different things. And so and just working in extremes, and they would have us on call. I was working nights then. I would work 4 nights in a row, and then I could be on call. There were times, man, where I worked probably, no joke, it could be 8, 9 nights in a row, 12-hour shifts, because we were just short of staff.
Stay at Ted and Jolene, or if it's the summertime or something, they're here year-round. Ted and Jolene in New York. I'm supposed to visit next year.
3 hours a day, 3 to 4 days a week, and getting $1,800 in his Social Security after he retired years ago. It doesn't make any sense to me. I need to know more about the online coupon business then, because that doesn't make any sense to me.
They said, come on over. You got a room, shower, air conditioning. Let's play some golf. He had a great time with me today. I had a great time with him. And so there's a new.
Well, of course, you had a great time, Tim. The guy paid for it. Why is it such a great time for him? Because he got your illustrious company. I know you had a great time, Tim. Somebody paid for your golf. I can't. Are we really just? When are we going to get sick of the grifters? At least give us content. At least have some knowledge, something. Instead of just, this guy is such a grifter. Can we ban the grift in 2026? These guys are wild on YouTube. Do you know once they just are wild?
With those two. They started out as just a subscriber, and they pulled up here one day to meet me, and we've stayed in touch. And it's been like a year and a half since I saw them, since I left here and I think moved to Jacksonville. But anyway, don't want to keep going on and on and on. But as we draw
Oh,
the
you absolutely do, Tim, because, why not milk a 25-minute video, and hope that some of your loyal subs and my YouTube premium take you to the end.
end of 2025. It's been a great year. YouTube's been good to me. Life's been good to me.
Uh-oh.
My disadvantage plan.
YouTube's been good to him, guys. I don't know. I felt like YouTube's really changed since about August in some things. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with Tim and YouTube in 2026 and how he can just keep this audience going, other than just hate watchers like us. But I tell you, every time he talk about that restricted eating, disordered eating diet, I'm reporting him to YouTube. I don't care, Tim.
And
I already started
on
reporting
Social
you.
Security with a side hustle, debt-free, healthy.
Debt-free. Tim, you are so... Why are you just out here lying to your audience? You are not debt-free. You still are paying back, unless you paid back that $54,200 in EIDL. And I know at that low S interest rate that you got it at, and the fact that you only have to pay $300 a month on such a large amount of money for 30 years, and it's actually better interest rates than we get on our student loans, which are, people, at least when they try to get student loans, hopefully are going to gain a profession which potentially could improve the economy of this nation. It's usually why people get advanced degrees. It's to advance the society that they live in. It's so that not everybody is just subsistence farming. Usually countries that have, higher levels of education have higher levels of wealth. So usually it actually helps a country to have people with education. Does everyone have to have a college degree? Not necessarily, but having lots of skilled individuals who are able to perform skills and trades or different types of professions, I think is. I signed the petition calling the government not to tell me that my profession isn't a profession. Ridiculous. Tim provided nothing. He's a taker. Absolute Baker taker. Baker couldn't be a better last name for this man. And I cannot, and he just happened to be able to get enough views on that one video to get, because most of the time there's a much better little older guy who does videos, and he's so cute. He lives, I guess maybe he's also living in a mobile home. I don't know if that's, but he has his dog and his cat, and he writes these essays, and he talks about important social issues for seniors in a very pragmatic way from somebody who obviously is very well educated, but not somebody who obviously made a ton of money in his lifetime. Probably a fairly humble man. And his channel blowing up, Tim, because he's authentic. And I think that's the thing with you. People after a while could realize you're not authentic. There's nothing authentic about you.
A couple small issues.
She's
trying to maintain. Super good friends, great support system. I feel blessed and I appreciate it, because a lot of people are having some issues, and
and some people are better. I know that I'm very much, the reason why I enjoy nursing in some ways is that you can be somewhat autonomous and independent. A lot of times you're doing your day and your work, and you have your orders and stuff, but your days are different and things. So, and I understand one of the reasons why people love YouTube is you get to be your own boss. Tim, the problem with me and Tim is his content's absolutely dire. He did one thumbnail. He had that music at the end of his videos he used to play that was created by JJ. He was supposed to pay JJ for it. Never paid him a penny for it. Just used him. And he wants, look at this. We got a picture of this man's tent with his dang freaking Nike shoes propped up. How many pairs of shoes has this man gone through this year? He is like the Imelda Marcos. I can't. And I see a subscriber show up. I'm just like, how are you wanting to even have anything? How do you relate to a con artist and a grifter? But they want to prop this guy up, you know? And I promise you, if this was a female in this situation, she wouldn't be getting the same type of props. I saw a lady and she finally got kind of hooked up into an apartment, and I wouldn't want to see any, person who's age in a vehicle. It's going to be just not a great situation, in my professional opinion. Just not a great place. Just unstable, just not comfortable, just not appropriate. And this lady got herself into an apartment, and for whatever reason, she's gone back to living in a car and has gone over to Quartzsite. And her audience I think, dipped away, because I don't think they really want to see this elderly lady living in a vehicle. I think they were trying to support her and support her channels in the hopes that she would get herself in some stability. Tim is trying to sell this way that he lives as some sort of minimalism choice, but he's anything but a minimalist. Okay, finish it out, Tim.
Come out of it. They'll bounce back. In the meantime, there's where I live for one more night.
Because it was free, Tim. It was free. You were here because it was free. How much you want to bet he going to return the tent and everything? Even though he's used it, how much you want to bet he returns everything? He is the king of those. Nikes are fantastic. Yeah, they look like the ones that those guys that were wearing the Haley Bop, whatever those people were that were part of that death cult. They wore Nikes like that before they all drunk that stuff and like went up to meet the Haley Bop, whatever those people were called. What were they? The Davidians or whatever they were. The Branch Davidians? No, that was somebody else. It was one of those people. But yeah, it looks like he's going up to meet the Comet in those Nike trainers, because that's what they look like. That's what they look like. I'm sorry. Yeah, he is the Imelda Marcos. You own 3 pairs of shoes? I know. I'm telling you. Heaven's Gate. Thank you, darling. Yeah, they look like he's getting ready to go up on Heaven's Gate. Okay, that's what those Nike trainers look like. Thank you, King of Sand, for reminding me of that moment and historical time. And thank you for letting me. Yeah, it was Heavens. Yeah, Heaven's Gate. That's what those Nike trainers look like. All right, let's see if Tim's put any more stuff out, and otherwise we will wrap it up, because I know everyone's trying to get out and go holiday shopping. I know I do. I'm gonna I have to wash one of my dogs, unfortunately. Let me see. Let me refresh the page and see if we got anything else. Now, Tim is obviously driving his way back up to Bradenton. Oh, here we go. Let's take a look at this Christmas dinner real fast, and then we'll finish it out, because we need to see how he checks out. How I want to see the interaction between all his friends and Tim, wearing his Eric Clapton video over here. Make sure you hit the likes, guys, on the way in.
Hey, how's it going?
Hold on, Tim. I'm not ready for you. Make sure that you also take part in our latest poll. Is Tim going to have his birthday dinner with Fred and Rafaela in Bradenton? 92% say yes. Let's see how many more votes we can get. 8% say no. Nobody thinks you're partying with those neighbors that you called alcoholics and shopaholics, Tim. I'm going to keep reminding his neighbors. Tim's neighbors, snowbirds from Canada, the people who have joined him at the Bradenton RV park. If you are watching by any chance my video today, just let you know that Tim thinks you're all alcoholics and shopaholics, okay? That's what he thinks of you, because I guess one of you laughed at him, because he came on real angry one day about the haters, and then he got angry at his neighbors. And I almost feel, because remember, Tim wasn't going to leave till the new year, because I think he thought all this stuff was going to show up for his birthday and Christmas at the campsite. And I guess maybe it was getting uncomfortable with the neighbors, and so he decided, I think it was a combination between Darling actually goading him. I think Darling's video on Key West, I almost feel like that prompted him. I think everyone just calling him a liar, pants on fire in this comment section got him moving. And I think him not having a good time with his neighbors anymore, because he was, you know what? I bet he returned that Santa shirt too. I bet you the tag, that thing was tagged still. Yeah, Eric Clapton. You don't think he could name an Eric Clapton song? No, he couldn't. I thought that was the devil's music anyway, Tim. Is he gonna wear this on? He's not done a Crushing It for Christ since he's been out of town. He only does those when he's depressed and he wants to, pretend like he's a prosperity. He wants to think he's the next Joel Osteen.
Everybody, Sarasota, Tim. Well, it is dinner time. The moment has come. It's Christmas Day, 2025, and we're here at the Tiki Hut. And I'm joined by a big group of people, all men, and Miss Jolene. I'm going to introduce them to you, actually, and show you what we've prepared to eat tonight. Yeah, and we are going to make us a fire. I'm going to make one for sure after we eat. Now,
if you caught my last live stream, we caught a wine glass reflecting in the refrigerator. And we know Tim don't drink water. And we don't know if that was for his diet soda. And then he was... I guess maybe it was a good thing if he is somebody who does not want to drink and his neighbors were drinking and, and he could feel himself tempted. It was probably a good thing to go somewhere else where people maybe don't drink, like Teddy and Jolene maybe don't look like they're like throwing down like that, and get out of there. Because, otherwise, because we saw what happened when he was hanging out with Tammy again and going off the Key West and stuff. And visiting the bars, because you don't visit a bar and order a Coca-Cola, Tim. You were probably drinking again because you were acting like you were hungover a lot of those days.
Try and be good because what we're having tonight is extremely rich. And but we got a great group of people here. A couple of guys I've only just become acquainted with, and I'd like to introduce them to you. But we're here at 29 Palms in Boynton Beach. It is Christmas 2025, and let me just show you what we've got over here. Interrupt the conversation.
And I hope everyone had a lovely Christmas this year. I hope everyone got what they wanted. Not that any of us really. Only Tim is still at 67 years old, worried about his Christmas presents. Only Tim. Tim who never gave to his own children. Most of us are worried about what children are getting for Christmas, and how cute are the kids this Christmas.
We're live people. We're live.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing?
So here's my first
Bensonhurst guy. You're the first Bensonhurst guy.
Anyway,
you ever have a Bensonhurst guy before?
What is it?
Bensonhurst.
What is that?
Brooklyn. Bensonhurst, Brooklyn.
Oh, okay. He's from Brooklyn. Everybody knows I've never been north of North Carolina. So, but
this guy. I like this guy. He has obviously heard about Tim from Teddy and Jolene or something. He's like, I love New Yorkers. He's not even going to try to put on any Southern politeness here. Tim is going to try to be all Mr. Southern polite. This guy does not want to be on Tim's freaking video. He sounds like he just doesn't even want to explain to Tim. He don't want his folksy crap. Tim, New Yorkers aren't going to put up with your stupidity, okay? They just aren't.
This year, I'm promising I'm going to go to Ted and Jolene's in New York. Well, anyway, this is Neil.
Neil D.
And
how you doing?
He's Italian. Pretty funny guy. I've been learning a lot from him.
I'm funny?
Yeah, you're funny.
I'm here to make you laugh.
See? Takes you serious. You want to go here? Serviceman, Army man. This is Ryan.
Yeah, I don't know if that New Yorker was like joking with you on that, Tim. Sometimes when New Yorkers say that, you got to be cautious and read between the lines. Because they have a great sense of humor. But, you don't push a New Yorker, Tim.
Ryan. Yeah. Drawing a blanket. I had his name 40 times a minute ago. But Ryan's served the Army, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, most of us only do presents for children.
Oh my gosh, he's a real patriot. We appreciate it. From Miami.
Yeah.
And like me, he agrees that South Florida and a lot of places have really changed.
Yeah, I think
a little disappointing, but
Yeah, oh, of course. Yeah, it's only disappointing for you, Tim, because you didn't get on the property ladder soon enough. It's not like you didn't have like 60 some years to think about it. Well, okay, we'll take it down. We'll give you 40. maybe 30. I'll be 30. I'll be kind. So since you were 37, that was still a pretty good market in those days, Tim. You're only 10 years older than me. It was a good market. Could have gotten something for like probably $50,000 down there. Even on the water. Didn't think about it, did you? Because you didn't want anything to tie you down. And also, you couldn't have assets because you got divorced way too much. You would have been stripped of anything you owned, every divorce you had. So you didn't, you were more interested in getting married and having children with people and rather than, building a family or wealth or anything, or building your wealth. Like somebody like me, I'm not a family builder, okay? Except with my puppy dogs, who brought a lot of joy to people at the boardwalk. But I am trying to build, at least as best as I can, my property wealth. I would love to get more than one property. I would love to have had those opportunities. I promise you. I looked at it in every way possible. I just also a little bit cautious. So maybe I didn't spring, but at least I sprung on one thing and I have kept hold of it to, you can't be getting upset because you just didn't take advantage of things.
It is what it is.
Right.
And then
We'll make the best of it.
that's right. Hey, that's a good attitude. So you guys all know that the property manager here said Jolene. Look at Miss Jolene tonight. She's surrounded by all these.
Oh gosh, Jolene looks so cute. And thing is, Jolene's not always is not a big makeup person. She's very natural. She's very cute. And Tim is she got a cute little dress on. The poor lady having to feed all these guys. I hope they offer it, good for her. She just get the paper plates out. Every woman's name. Oh God. I would definitely, if I was Teddy, not that I think that Jolene would ever want to touch Tim. Okay. But knowing that he, happily had an affair with his wife's coworker and has continued that relationship for longer than them with that particular spouse tells you a thing or two. I just love the way everyone's kind of look at Jolene's beautiful meal. Bless her heart. This is a place you would never find me as a woman. I would be yeah, you guys can order out.
These men looking very pretty. And she made a great dinner tonight. Now, last but not least is a good friend of ours.
Oh, how irritating. She does look very nice. But Tim, God, you lecherous old man. Teddy giving him the death stare. Tim, cut it out. Just such an old misogynist. Ugh, creepy. Ugh, sorry, guys. We don't really like it all like that. I know it seems nice and stuff, Thomas here, the younger generations, it's not going to fly.
Go over here.
Where are you from again? Creepy.
New York via Annapolis, Maryland.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, Maryland
22
State.
years.
Oh, Yankees.
Oh yeah.
And one Southern guy. Anyway, tonight we're serving up. Let's have Miss Jolene tell us what it is. What we got here?
Lasagna.
Lasagna and
Spinach.
spinach lasagna.
Beautiful.
Yes, really looks great.
Yeah, and the spinach manicotti.
Manicotti, yeah.
Yeah, stuffed. Each one stuffed. There's actually it goes this way, and then two are here.
Yeah.
So plenty cheesy and lots of
Nice.
stuff.
And Neil
salad
brought a
is
bunch
there.
of this traditional Italian. My friends, Fred and Raphael, I know about this. The tomatoes and the.
Yeah, because Tim didn't bring shit. Except his sorry ass. That's the way I would talk about it if I was having a drink with my friends at dinner. Do you see Tim? What gifts has Tim brought? Has Tim, other than the gift of his dang company, which is not a gift. That's a punishment, Tim. Sorry. Teddy looks just unimpressed. Because, did Tim think... Does most of us understand if you're going to people's houses, you don't show up empty-handed, especially at the holidays. Get a bottle of wine, a nice box of chocolates, the dessert. Did Tim offer to get dessert for the party? Hey, can I pick up some specialty pastries? Get something? That's why this guy, and I just don't get it. I just know that if a woman was doing this, her invitation would have been long cut away. But for some reason, I guess guys could get away with it. I don't know. We need to stop the whole pass, okay? Because it's frustrating. Because the other guys look irritated too. When are we going to have the Beals, the cojones, to call these types of men out to their faces?
Mozzarella, traditional Italian appetizer. And it got gone. And then Will here, he brought something yesterday. I can't wait to get into it later. I'm excited about dinner tonight, but he's got an apple pie.
Yeah, I definitely want a pescatarian, vegetarian option there. And vegan too. I would do all. But I can't eat all that meat. I mean, Tim definitely not on the carnivore diet. He needs to. I don't know why he talked about. That's why you don't see his like rabid carnivore fans, like his Jim Bowers, and you get a couple, but not like he used to get. Because he's flip-flopped too many times for these types of fakes. They're gonna get like deep into the red pill on it, and they're just gonna go off. He is, why, and this is why he is so problematic. He said, after he went to Georgia, he was going to go back to his carnivore, his limited diet, disordered eating diet for the holidays to lose weight. All of this is disordered eating. All the things that he does, talking about his weight, all of these are against YouTube's terms of service now. They don't want people out there doing that stuff. Tim does not, they're like, no more. And Tim is definitely someone who displays disordered eating habits, in my opinion. And he lied to his audience about saying that he was going to go carnivore again and right at Christmas. And I'm thinking to myself, why would you put yourself on a diet that you have obviously failed multiple times? You just say it to get clicks. You just say it to get an audience when you didn't get like 200,000 views on your, 5-minute carnivore meal. You gave up on it again. That's the thing. He did the Social Security video. He didn't have to do many. He did like one and it just went viral. And so he stuck kind of with it. Or he did a couple and one went viral and that was it. And so that's where you get with Tim. He tries to figure out what is my, it's got nothing to do with him being authentic, legit. And these people look irritated. Just like, Teddy looks like he just wants to leave. Like, he gave Tim 5 minutes permission to film this. It's like camera off. Because they didn't film past 5 minutes. So, but this isn't, why put yourself on a restrictive diet at the holidays? You're going to fail. If you've already failed and you're not somebody who sustains that type of diet, you're going to fail. He just absolutely.
I mean, it is big. It looks really, really good. So anyway, we're going to enjoy our dinner tonight. We wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. Hope you're having a great day. And then later on, when I make a fire, I'll get another clip for you. And we'll see. We'll see how we're doing that. I just didn't know if you want to do it.
It's because people don't. I mean, Teddy always looks fed up, but they're too polite to say. And Tim just literally wanders up onto the property. I mean, he can't. There's not a way to not let him in. I guess Teddy, when you're health and over time, I guess you just like, But I felt like he overstayed his welcome. Like he went too soon down, and he's there for way too many days. And like I said, I think it's because he didn't want to spend Christmas alone. And I don't, I guess he's an extrovert. He's not like me. I kind of like being quiet at Christmas, not having any obligations is nice. Teddy like walking away, man.
Right now, or, so we'll get that going. So we'll get you another clip coming up. All right, stay tuned.
So you ever been in showbiz?
So we're getting on the fire right now. Before we actually eat, we're going to light a fire up. As soon as I said that, I want to show you what we do. These palm trees I mentioned the other night. That's not a palm tree. This stuff hanging right there, it's very flammable. And so they've put it in this can, and we're getting down on it. We got to get some more. We put that in there first, and then look, they get this torch.
We've got to get some more, which means that Tim's lazy, is certainly not going to offer. He'll have Teddy with his health issues out there, or Jolene who just cooked an entire meal before his lazy, he's just, how these people haven't still come by his house. I am just hats off to them. As I had met somebody through my church once, and she always was having a crisis, like wanted our car wasn't working properly, so she'd want me to pick up something from some place and take it to her home in a city 20 miles away because I had a car. No. I mean, she was always wanting and churches are supposedly set up to help with charitable things, but she was having problem with accommodation and where she lived. I mean, it was just living in people's properties, living in, it was just all of this stuff. And I am not somebody, I don't want that I don't want these people in my life. If I can't have a fair and equal friendship in some way, and then it's just this, it's not going to work for me. I have to offer something in return. For all my friends who always were generous, I took care of their kids so many times and didn't take a penny from them. Just did free babysitting for them, just like, hey, go out, have fun. I'll take care of your kids. I'm not doing anything tonight. That's a lot of money saved. Did that a lot for people. So I just feel that, and I just don't know how people do it. I feel like I feel like I've known men in my life who've gotten away with this way more than women. Put it in the comments in the chat if it's just me, or do we just kind of give men a little bit more of a hall pass especially because women are caring too. So, the nurturing, how long are they going to continue to nurture this loser?
I was going to show you how she did it. It lights instantly. And then we put these little dowels on there, small pieces. And then we've got these, because they're always building on the deck and stuff around the house, on the dock out here.
You stop the transactional friendships.
And we just have us a big fire instantly.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, and it's hard in the modern world because it's our jobs are so, it can be taxing, I always felt like, asking a favor from a friend, I would always think like, what could I, do? Or if a friend helped me with something like took stuff to a dump for me, I'd give them money for the gas just to stop kind of that part of that transactional piece, or just to say, hey, I totally, respect that you've taken your time out of your day to come and help me with something that you didn't have to do, using your vehicle, your gas, your stuff, helping me get stuff to a dump, not even expecting me to go to the dump, like literally doing me like huge favors. At least I can do is like chip in so you can get a pizza, whatever you want, and usually my friends would be like, sure, and it kind of like, at least kind of like, it's not like, it was just kind of that sort of like a thank you, a way to say thank you, or you would get beers, a pizza, you do something, I just feel so frustrated that I don't see that anything that Tim mentioned at that Christmas dinner table that he brought to the meal. Not even a dessert. He didn't even pick up like a cake from Walmart. I never see him do that when he goes to Fred. It's all about what he gets, what he receives, that he goes home with a piece of cake. How much do people want to keep watching? I mean, for me as a reaction channel, it's great because this guy is so low-cal.
And it's going to be really nice. So by the time we get through eating, it'll be nice hot coals and a big flame. It'll be getting dark. It's currently 5 to 5. It'll be dark in about 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to be sitting down here with our chairs, enjoying ourselves. But right now,
this lady was so chaotic. I was on a night shift. I used to sit there with one of my nursing colleague. I used to work with the same lady at night because you get your people that you like to work with, and you work well with, and you just kind of know who that is. And so I worked with this lady, and she would always hear the tales about this girl I'd met. And my final straw was there was one night, and she and this, I don't know what she and this girl were up to, but somehow they had met a neighbor of mine in my neighborhood, this guy, and they were hanging out at his place. And I guess the other girl was getting in more with the other guy than the girl who I knew. And I guess she was getting jealous and upset. And we're talking about women in their 40s and 50s and stuff. Okay. I'm not, this is where I was like, turned around to my colleague. I said, no, I don't have any part of this. And she's like, can you go over and find out? And I was just like, at that point, I blocked this person. I said, no, I will not go over and see what these two grown adults are doing in their personal time, And then the funniest part of this story was I never heard from her again. And then I would used to see this other girl coming by, the one that I guess they were living in a hotel room together, she and this other girl. And I don't know what the scams they had going on. Who the heck knows? Because she was trying to tell me she was living somewhere else. And then anyway, I used to call the other girl Texas Plates because her license plates were from Texas. So I used to call her Texas Plates. And then one day, Texas Plates was over there and she was hanging out with my male neighbor. And this guy is single, I guess. And lo and behold, there was an older gentleman and a lady who came into the neighborhood, and it was the parents of Texas Plates. And they had stopped by specifically to come over and tell this guy and warn him about their daughter. And they wanted to know where this guy was. And so I just remember saying, well, this is where the guy lives. And I know that the person who's I've seen with this vehicle has been going to this property. And they basically said, oh, yeah. And then after that, I never saw Texas Plates in my neighborhood again. So I'm guessing the parents warned, so literally this girl was such a scam grifter that her elderly parents, because these people were older and with Virginia license plates. So she obviously had somehow found herself out in Texas, maybe married someone in the military. I've seen that happen here a lot, where they've gone and met some guy who's from the military and ended up over in Texas or something, and they end up with Texas plates. And has come back to town and it's causing havoc. And just it was wild. Anyway, that was too long of a story.
Let's get back at it and get on this meal here.
Sorry, that was a long
So
story.
before I dig in, take a look at that fire. You wouldn't believe the heat coming off of that. And we're served up. Looks like Teddy's is digging in. Pretty good, Teddy.
Okay, it'll do.
Yeah, it'll do. That's all right. Looks great, Jolene. Thank you. Everybody's loving it. Look at that. It's getting gone.
Yeah, everyone's loving it. Poor Jolene. Do you think Tim offered even to clean the plates afterwards? This doesn't look carnivore, Tim. Poor Jolene. I'm sure she'd like some lady company there. I would. I'd want some female company.
Hey, can I ask more when I get done with this?
I know.
How was it, Will?
Excellent.
Yeah?
Outstanding. It's a 10.
All right, good. Let me try it. I got a salad, manicotti, and the lasagna. Let's go. Let's crush this.
All right, Tim. I'm going to stop sharing that one. Oh, my goodness. I don't think he had any more after that Christmas dinner. Let's see. I think that was it. I think that was the last of the Christmas. Yeah, then he just had a morning chat on Boynton Beach that morning before he headed out. So, and then he was watching his friends, Mike going by on a big sport. I love this one, to the Bahamas. Guess who was invited to the Bahamas? Tim. Tim was not invited to the Bahamas. Oh my goodness. It's so cringy. It's cringy. It really is cringy. But he didn't. Teddy was like, nix that afterwards. There was no more filming on Christmas Day. He was there for a while, wasn't he? Okay, let's check the poll. 86 votes. That's awesome. Is Tim going to have his birthday dinner with Fred and Rafaela? 90 votes. That's awesome. I'm so excited. I wish we could have gotten to 100. Maybe I'll play one more video and see if we can get to 100. Is Tim going to have his birthday dinner with Fred and Rafaela in Bradenton? Yes. Say 90%. No. Say 10%. And nobody thinks the neighbors are going to bring him over to party for his birthday. Nobody. Oh, my goodness. Okay, Tim, let's do one video, and then we're going to finish you out. I keep saying one video, but I'm having so much fun today. Okay, because I feel like I need to make up. All right, we got Tim is going out on his friend is going out on a big sports fishing boat to the Bahamas. All right, let's hear Tim talk about somebody else's life.
How's it going, everybody? Sarasota. Tim, let's get out to the dock. We got a good friend of ours, Ted and Jolene's, really. His name is Mike. He's got a big, bad boat. He says he's going to be going by in about 8 minutes. And that's about a minute from now. I got to hurry up and get out here. I'm going to show you guys. All right.
I know.
We're
I
walking
think
out here on
the
point. We'll hang on a minute. Beautiful day out here on the point, 29 palms on the dock.
He's certainly not crushing glaucoma. That's one thing he has not been able to crush, is the glaucoma. Crushing life. You know, I could take you guys right down to Virginia Beach and show you some stuff similar to this. You know, anybody who lives on the East Coast can, you know, I could take you into a fancy neighborhood and pose around too. I have friends whose family got all this sort of stuff. It's not hard.
Looking that way is the Boynton Inlet. Maybe a mile as a crow flies. This is Ocean Ridge. That's the version over here. This morning, I'll zoom in, that bridge down there. That's Ocean Avenue. That's where Jolene and I walked across that way to the beach, and then down about where we're at here on the beach. So
Yeah, he wasn't with his daughter at all and her family, which I find interesting because they seem to be having a pretty good time. Why wouldn't you want to go spend Christmas with the family up in Georgia? Stay in a hotel. Get your kids, you know, Tim is not with his grandchildren, any of his grandchildren, or even his newer son with his wife, and trying to make their Christmases special or invite. It's always about Tim. Teddy knows that.
we'll get some more for you in a minute. This is a sport fish.
Yeah.
They're diesel, they're a motorhome, they're a yacht, they're a fishing boat, they're
Pretty much
everything in one. That is one.
You watch them?
How about that? That is newer than I thought, too. Wow, what a boat. Let's check that out. That's sport fish. That is crushing it right there. Got that big tower on it.
Yeah, they're crushing it, Tim, not you. And you also, you know, I promise you, when I was a young lady in Virginia Beach, there was a lot of time spent on these types of boats. It's as a female, it's doable because you're not spending the money, obviously. And it's fun. Oh, is that what it is?
That's what you pay.
I guess he couldn't take the motorbike to Georgia. That was too much of a drive for Tim. And the weather is not conducive to driving a motorbike. So he would have had to take the truck, and that's too expensive. Yeah, and then maybe they don't have the space there at the house. So maybe he would have had to have gotten a hotel, you know? Because he can't pitch his tent up in his daughter's yard.
$600, $1,000 to go out fishing. Look at that thing. Look at these waves coming in. The swell it makes. That's what it looks like in the back.
Right.
Got the big fighting chairs on the back, you know, to fight the big marlin.
Right.
So I guess he was delayed because he had to wait.
I was about to say, his one son is like an Uber driver. Not saying that the gig workers, but from what I understand, like he's lucky to get into it because it's kind of like it's kind of like they can't take any more gig workers. There's not too many gig workers for the jobs, we don't need but so many gig workers, After a while, like any business, it's going to reach a point where you're going to have a surplus of these individuals, and therefore they're not going to be able to make living wages because it becomes then a surplus. And I just don't see him ever talking about what he's doing to help this son of his. I know we come from a culture that is based around individualism, and it's something that I've thought a lot about, and I can appreciate where that seems to be sometimes a good thing. But I think sometimes in a collectivism culture that you do see also a lot of times where people feel a lot more satisfaction and support. I think that sometimes when you're very individualistic, your goals tend to maybe be more shallow, like looking at this as being the only signs of success. And not seeing that providing, something meaningful to your family is successful. This is what Tim sees as success. He's been surrounded by this in Florida. He's never really achieved it. And he lives a life of envy. And he wants to tell other people that we're envious because of his YouTube channel and that we want to, upset his money. No, Tim, we just know that you're a scammy scoundrel and we're tired of you folks in 2026. We want to take you offline.
For the bridge down there to open to let him through. Nice boat. That's what you call crushing it.
Yeah, okay. All right, Tim. That's what Tim says. Crushing it. All right, guys, let's see where my votes are at. And we'll see, because I've been here for a while. Oh, we're at 93. I'm almost at 100. I keep saying I'll stop at 100 votes. Get me to 100 votes. It's like, stop playing Sarasota, Tim. I keep trying. Best pizza of my life was 3 days ago. Oh, here's his morning chat. Let's see what things, Tim. This is the last one I'm going to look at real quick, guys. All right, Tim. This is the last one, because we want to get this poll up to 100 votes. It's going to be my make up the live stream for having been just so lazy over the holidays. And I apologize, guys. I feel like I am suitably rested again. And I like live streaming in the morning. I have to say, I have a little more energy. Sometimes at night, I start to fade out.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Sarasota Tim wearing the same shirt as yesterday. I go a couple of days now wearing the same thing. No, just kidding. I'll be getting my shower when I get back from what I'm going to go do right now. But first, I'm going to go visit some people stinking.
Yeah, they're absolutely crushing it. I mean, there's people who had businesses, like owned insurance agencies. I mean, I had a friend of mine whose husband, his parents owned an insurance agency business. They did very well for themselves. Very well for themselves.
No, just kidding.
They were always buying
I'm going over to John and Carol's.
As an adult, too.
And I have a breakfast engagement that they're making me breakfast. They live over here nearby in Boynton Beach. The sun is coming up.
And that's what happens when YouTube rewards like a low caliber of work and the video goes viral and you happen to put something in your thumbnail and enough people have clicked on it that people are like, oh, it must have some really good information because 3 million people have looked at this video. And then they look at the video and they're probably like, you know, well, this guy just says retire at 62. He doesn't even have a secret because he was promising a secret. There was no secret. Secret was that Tim doesn't know what he up to. That's the secret.
And I'm supposed to be there at 8 o'clock. It's a chilly morning.
Oh, 8 o'clock.
And I've got to get on this motor. So I just thought I'd crank it up. Let me turn it off. I'm just letting it warm up. She started right up. She's a good girl. I mean, she is something. Look at this thing. Wow. Look at this. Let's get that heated seat.
On Facebook Marketplace, beginning of 2026, because why did you spend all this? This is the most asinine purchase, but this is what we expect. This is what we expect from these YouTubers, these ones that fall into this sort of geezer world category, if you want. The fact that he's out here telling people to, you know, sponsor his channel and send him money and this, that, and the other, while he shows off a motorbike. I mean, I wonder how many of his audience have that type of, you know, toy themselves. Just, you can't be expecting a great deal of donations when you're showing off all your toys, Tim.
And these heated grips going. Let me just turn them on. Right here is the heated seat. And right here is the heated grips. And the first time you press them, both of them are lit up right there at full strength. And you keep pressing them, and the dots go away, and they get, you know, not as hot. I want them full hot. But the bike's already warmed up. So let me just shut that off. Take that noise off. I got to get going. It's about a 10-minute ride. I'm about 20 minutes ahead of schedule, so I wanted to check in.
Of course, Tim's always ahead of schedule because he's got to get the scam. You know, he's not going to run late on the scam.
Do a little good morning video to everybody. So, did everybody have a good Christmas? Huh? It's the day after. It's all over for another year. And
well, that's where we wonder because we haven't seen him since his breakfast video. We don't know if Tammy's up in North Carolina with the kids though. But she has other children. Doesn't she in Florida? Tammy don't want him chasing her around. She just knows he's chasing her for the money. She knows who he is. They're both the same.
You can tell it's definitely turning into...
They're from the same cloth.
It's going to be 78 degrees here. Tomorrow, the high in Sarasota is only going to be 73. So when you ride on a motorcycle, you can figure 10, 15 degrees cooler, you know, at 60.
And Tim definitely stayed more than 2 days. I mean, if he could have pushed it to his birthday, he would have. He would have stayed an entire week. I think they thought he would maybe stay for the night and finish out. But Tim was like, I'm going to be alone at Christmas and this, that, and the other. Who knows? I'm surprised. Because Teddy, every time he shows up, Teddy just does not look like he wants to be dealing with Tim nonsense anymore. He knows what Tim is. He's not stupid.
70 miles an hour. So I'm going to have to bundle up with my long johns and my jackets and everything if I return home tomorrow. And I'm thinking about going back tomorrow after it warms up and the moistures and the dew is melted off from the morning, and I have my coffee and take my leisures and probably about
Yeah, take his leisure, because Tim not right. So one time Tim not going to be up at 3 a.m. like he is in the RV filming stuff. Oh, he definitely going to be taking his leisure. He going to want to get another Jolene breakfast in, which he did. They couldn't even get him out on Boxing Day. He wasn't even prepared to leave the day after Christmas. He had to get his golf trip in, I guess.
11 or noon tomorrow. I'll be leaving here, going back over. And I'm excited about getting back to the Crasher and my neighbors and the beach and
The neighbors.
getting in the truck and doing some shopping and grilling.
Tim, the neighbors. We at the moment have it at 1%. You're going to be partying with your neighbors for your birthday on the 29th. Thank you for correcting me, darling. 1%. You called your neighbors drunks and shopaholics. Your neighbors don't want you over at the Slingo Bingo. You already returned the Santa sweater. They were probably like hearing you complain about how much money you had to throw in to play the Slingo Bingo. And they're probably like, this guy got to get. They were probably happy to see you going over Christmas. They were probably like, thank God he went.
Mistake and showering 2 or 3 times a day, whatever I got to do, trim my beard and all the other things. It's always good to get back home. It's always good to leave and go somewhere. And I've got all winter to return here as many times as I want on the bike, in the truck or whatever, and kick it out here on Tight Pants Point, helping these guys out with anything I can do, enjoying conversation.
Well, we already know he's a liar. He says he's debt free, and he also had to take credit cards for his teeth, and he's taken out other credit cards, and he has, I'm sure, other debt. I don't know why he talks about being debt free. He's not paid that $52,400 EIDL loan. I tell you that much. He's going to have to refile for that thing in 2026.
And meals, coffee in the morning. They're just great people, and I'm so honored that they like me, and I have the open invitation all the time to come here. And it really is. I just did my eye drop. Sorry. It really is like coming home. And they treat me so.
Yes, many of us here in this community had been individuals who, Miss Vicky even said she sent him some money. A lot of people did. They thought he was a genuinely I guess he, had some interesting content, and he seemed like an affable character. When you saw his videos and he's out there, I found it interesting because I was like, oh, this guy really screwed up his life. Let's see how he, and now he can't believe that he just making bank now as a social media person. Because once they hit it out the park, I promise you guys, these people seriously can start to make money. Tim didn't handle any of this very well because he's lazy. Okay. At the point where his thing got big, he and Tammy were doing stuff, but his greed was always, and his narcissism was always going to get the better of him, and then he just got angry and started striking channels. And that's when, and doing some really foolish stuff and everything else. And then deleting videos where he admitted to, his loan frauds and stuff. So, he was just a perfect, one of these types of individuals that should be called out on social media. But he had a lot of people fooled. I think he even deleted a comment that I made, an innocent comment, because he was not feeling well. And obviously I have a healthcare, and I think I suggested that he probably go see a doctor or do something about something. And I doubt that comment went over well. So he's, I used to let all sorts of nasty comments. And when they're just, if it's something that's genuinely giving me good feedback for the channel, I don't care what the comment is. If it's just being a troll, then there comes a point where you just have to say, okay, you have to end the comments, even though you don't want to be that person, just because there's nothing, even the person's just not even healthy to remain up.
Nice.
in
Just like
my
so many of
opinion.
you do out there. And even John and Carol that I'm getting ready to go
Thank
visit,
you,
they think the
Angel.
world
Yeah,
of me
please don't
too.
forget to hit
I'm
follow.
a very blessed man to have people that aren't even blood that genuinely care about me and like me. I mean, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I get it.
No, you're not everybody's cup of tea, and I don't know how these people put up with you. And I don't know how that's Teddy looks like he's giving you side eye all the time. I think Jolene is probably the one who's telling him just to let it go.
I get that. And neither are you, maybe. But for those
Teddy
that,
would never have you back on his
that
property.
do watch my channel and want to get to know me and meet me and send me things and talk to me and call me and invite me to
Yes.
come over or stop by
Oh,
or stay
yeah,
at their place or
absolutely,
just,
Gen X. You
you
make
know,
a really excellent point there. Gen X says he removed and hid our comments, so the reaction channel started pretty much, and we discussed him there. Then he had to attack the creators of the reaction channels. He's angry that he can't control everything. Absolutely. And he said falsely that he has, been able to end all, that he has the ability to take channels like mine down. And he knows that I was his, I know he struck at Darling, but I probably, out of the really showing him that I'm not going to be taken down by this guy, was me. I know I did, because I sent him 2 cease and desist, and I fought and had to give personal information over and hired an attorney in order to protect my channel and send in these counter notifications, because I know this guy was not doing anything to take me to court. He doesn't have anything copyrighted. And even his big video is not under copyright. He's got nothing copyrighted, not technically copyrighted. So, and all of it is open for fair use. He's no understanding. And then all these people trying to let him know and stuff, he doesn't understand. And he still lies to his audience like he's the great, stopper of anybody, copying his content on YouTube. No, you're not, Tim. No, you're not. And, you tried to use my own personal information against me. All you were going to get yourself was sued. And they're not cheap attorneys, okay? That's why that's why he leaves my channel alone now. Because after he tried again, and I think sometimes Tammy is the one, because Tammy obviously benefits if Tim's getting money too.
You just want to be
I feel
around
Tammy
each
was
other.
part
That's
of
just,
that
it's
as
very
well.
flattering. And it's very, very nice. I really appreciate it. I really do. And I hope that in the coming months and years that as we continue on in our journeys, each of us, that more and more paths
Yes.
will cross
Thank you, Jada.
in the community that I can.
I'm sure he hid that comment afterwards too, or deleted it. Oh yeah, and he knows it. He knows it. He just full of lies, like talking about being debt free and stuff. That's why his neighbors laugh at him.
That I can meet, and if you come around here, or if I'm going that way, we can put a name to a face.
Oh my gosh,
So anyway,
Tree.
Yeah, I just wanted to check in this morning and
You're such
say
a
hello.
nice. See, and that's the thing, is most people, and that's the thing when we have to watch as older individuals watching social media. Okay. These, we used to have limited exposure to grifters, but now they're everywhere. And part of what reaction channels try to do is start to highlight like, hey, you need to, most of us come in because we think somebody is problematic, not because we're trying to ruin their bag, because they make a lot of money, these people. But when they start being disingenuous with their audiences, because they're making a lot of money off of people. And that was very sweet of you, Tree. No, he and Tammy don't need anything. Tammy was still married and has probably $500,000 to her name from her estate from Dwayne Musselman. That was just from the house sale. So I wouldn't worry about these two. That's why Tim was so excited talking about buying houses, because I really think he thought that Tammy was going to turn around and sell the home and turn around and buy a place for he and her to live in. And Tammy decided at the end, maybe she thought that she could stay, living with her kids in the in-law suite and have that money just as security for her future, just not need to spend money on a property. If she could stay with her kids, why would she then turn around and spend money to do that, to Tim? She probably, at her age, she's probably having way more fun with her grandkids and stuff and her family than dealing with Tim and his ass.
You know, I had a great night's sleep in the tent last night with my mummy bag. I deflated my air mattress a little bit yesterday because it's not supposed to be fully inflated, remember, so it contours around you. And I did want that mummy bag zipped up last night. I was quite warm.
I don't think Tammy wants him back. She knows who he is. She knows she's got him always because she's got the cash and he doesn't. She's got the bag. If Dwayne hadn't passed away and Tammy was still having to work part-time and do whatever, that might be a different situation. At that time, she and Tim were definitely very much in cahoots. But Tammy, ever since she's been able to get that estate, since Dwayne passed away, oh yeah, she don't feel that compelled to probably have to deal with Tim anymore.
Comfortable. And I have my headlight that they sent me for a review that's coming in so handy. Walking around here on the property at night.
I'm sure that story was I know it was in the local news. That was a wild story.
And then first thing in the morning and in the tent.
That was another one that Tim got upset. His neighbors were saying that he probably murdered Dwayne because of the way that truck, unfortunately, and then Tim was supposedly helping him, and then Tim left town. Tim, you're a soap opera.
Phone is in there with me. I
feel
put on
like
white
sometimes
noise.
I wish more people would discover these reactions because Tim is a character, man. That's why make sure you hit the likes. Because Tim is the classic male grifter that you get, the boomer grifter. You get it in the Gen X generation too. It's always this guy. It's always this guy. 3 marriages, multiple kids. You know, doesn't have it together. Everyone supposedly loves him. I promise you. Your friends behind your back are tired of you.
The boats that go by, it's quiet. You hear the tide and the water hitting against the docks and stuff. It's just amazing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
here, let's walk out there real quick instead of standing right here.
That was in such poor taste. What a tasteless, tacky thing to do, hey? Knowing that your friend passed away in that way, and then you tried to set up a video like that. He's a tasteless, tacky guy. He really is. Tasteless, tacky. I promise you, he's not had a Christian moment in his life.
In this spot, and I'll end the video with you.
No, you won't. Go for another 5.
And there's other places on the property I'm more than welcome to stay inside, but I like what I'm doing. I mean, I get offered every day. Do you want to stay in the boathouse? Do you want to be in, somewhere over here? So here we are.
Really? You think Teddy's offering for him to stay at the boathouse? Do you think all these people don't. Okay, people, I'm going to teach you an important lesson. If you see somebody like this who don't have it together and they just went through probably one of the greatest times of economic prosperities this planet has ever known in the later half and late stage capitalism of the mid stage capitalism of the late 20th century, 21st century. Sorry, let me get it right. In the United States, Tim don't need you. That's because he's a lazy, one of those. Because literally, you didn't have to do a great deal to get money. It was wild. And, I've seen just like people that I've known that just were able just to cash in, especially here on the East Coast, going like down, like North Carolina down, like people who bought like pieces of land on the Outer Banks and stuff for like next to nothing 30, 40 years ago, getting like just insane amounts of money on property and stuff. We see it all, especially, on some of these, because America's such a new country. It's not like Europe. And Tim, you just, oh my gosh, please, let's not support these people. If you know a guy who left 3 women and all of these kids and aren't doing anything for their grandkids and doing nothing for their families, do not prop them up. Don't give them a house. Don't feel sorry for them. Let them learn their lessons. Let him rot in that RV that he stole from the American taxpayer.
There's the night cat. And it's already getting kind of dry. It was very dewy this morning, and yesterday was dry.
In this country? But aren't we sick of it? I'm sick of it. I'm sick of people shysting our money out of it. And the good, honest, hardworking people in this country getting nothing in return. Tim gave nothing to this country. Absolutely nothing. He's not served in any capacity. Not in the military, not as a first responder, nothing. This man did nothing except sell cruddy coupons door to door. That's it. Did nothing. Absolute worthless human being. God, I would never want this worthless individual's. I would be embarrassed to call this person my acquaintance.
Humidity change, and every morning's different.
Sorry, I just.
But
wrote.
inside, completely dry. It's a absolute waterproof tent. I love it. Oh man,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
that heater feels
is.
good coming up. Oh my gosh, because I'm a little chilled. I could be wearing some pants.
Oh, and they're the biggest scam artists on YouTube. This is why he needs to be part of Giza World. There was one guy, he's had, and I really want to do this guy, but he's so boring. I don't think he was the audience. Maybe one day we'll show him. We'll see how long it takes to strike my channel because he's supposedly real litigious. He'll hear from my attorney real quick too. He literally has had like, this man is in his like mid 50s and lives in his car. It's been married 3 times. Girls, don't ever do it. They've already been married twice and they're coming at you with a third. Don't. Just don't. Have some self-respect. Anyway, he recently had one of his subscribers pay off his credit card debt. This guy literally has admitted to a gambling addiction and had even a subscriber pay for his ticket because he had nothing to go and live in the Philippines and try to set up his life in the Philippines. And then after 2 years, he came back with a ton of credit card debt, living in his car, doing like Walmart Sparks. And somehow some subscriber paid off this man's credit card. And I know my community helped me, and I'm always grateful with the attorney. But it was really to try to fight so that we can make reaction around these types of scumbags. I just don't know how.
And I could be wearing my hoodie. Teddy got a really nice hoodie from, what's the name of the brand?
Yeah,
he's been wanting it, and she got it for him for Christmas. And, when they go to New York and stuff, he'll get plenty of wear out of it. And this morning he comes down to the Tiki Hut, and he's just wearing his older one. I'm like, why aren't you wearing the new one? Anyway, he's saving it up. But look at this. Isn't this?
That's why she never divorced Dwayne. Somebody was, I want to say a long time ago, somebody left a comment or made a video or something, and Darling probably remembers this too, that had commented that Tim had told, him not to divorce his last wife. We don't even know if he got divorced from the third wife or not. I guess he did. She didn't divorce because I guess they, had grown kids or whatever, but they didn't divorce. And, but Tammy was living with Tim for years. And I guess Dwayne just, didn't, see the need to get the divorce or whatever. Worked in her favor, obviously. She didn't see the need to get divorced. She didn't need a divorce.
It's great, huh? This is great. I heard the drift boat, the Sea Mist, that parks down here at the Banana Boat in Two Georges, that backs in, that takes people out fishing. You can hear it chugging along, the diesel engine this morning. It goes by real slow. And it's reaching the inlet down there, going out for the 4-hour fishing trip.
I don't know.
It goes out and comes back to the minute, like an airplane. They've got that thing.
I don't know if she was there. She probably was over at her daughter's place that they had in Florida at the time. I don't know if she and Dwayne were still living together. They might have still been married. And he never took her out of the will or anything. So I guess he just didn't even, consider anything. So she became the sole heir. Didn't leave anything directly to the children, from what I understand. The whole probate went to her.
Time. It's been coming, going out along with other drift boats around here since I was a kid. It's just really amazing how some of this old Florida stuff around here never changes.
He had to have known they were shacking up together. They were renting an apartment together in Lakewood Ranch, the one that Fred and Raphael own. That Lakewood Ranch address is the address that's also attached to Tim's EIDL loan. If you take a look at my video fraud, you'll see all the connections. I've done in some of my, if you're a member of my community, check out, because I've done more deep dives that show all the addresses and everything. That Tim literally got that loan while living in the property. I think he rented from Fred and Rafaela. That he's got them complicit in his fraud.
And, you know, look at this. Look at these rocks here. And of course, this property and this
Oh, yeah.
growth
Oh,
that you see here
absolutely.
was what was next door.
I have videos where I have shown very clearly that that where he lived, and I have videos on this, so you'll have to take a look, where I show very clearly from documentation that Tim was a known associate at Tammy's at that address in Lakewood, or the address that was at the home of Tammy and Dwayne. So Tim was known to have lived at that address also. So I guess whenever his marriage, Tim has a habit of, it seemed like the relationships would fall apart and Tim keeps the friends because Tim is the most needy and probably showing up on their door. And a lot of people feel like, and this is just a cultural thing and an age thing, and hopefully, you know, and this is why it just irritates me, because he's a perfectly capable grown man who did shit for anybody else. Probably feel sorry for him. Think, oh God, this poor guy, he can't really cook for himself and this, that, and the other. Poor Tim, you know? And I'm sure he just plays up to that poor Tim and throws some flattery. Oh, Miss Jolene, you look so pretty, you know, and laughing. And, you know, I've seen these characters before. You know, and they are always I've seen guys do this, and I promise you, the guy's going to try to hit on your wife at some point because she's like cooking and caring for him, and these guys never have boundaries. And that's, you know, when he didn't have a boundary, it stayed at Dwayne's house and ended up like cuckolding him and taking off with his wife, and then was thinking that she was going to buy a property that he was going to retire his ass into, is my theory. And then when she didn't comply with all of that, and the kids were giving her a better option, and maybe the kids were like thinking to themselves, you know, maybe we don't want mom, you know, putting roots down, because then if something were to happen to her, then he's inheriting that property potentially and cutting the kids out of their inheritance. So maybe they just said, hey, mom, hold on to your money. You don't need it. We're going to have a big enough house. You don't need the stress of owning a home. You can hang in the in-law suite. And they have big enough, nice enough homes. Those in-law suites are beautiful. And so Tammy not having to worry about the rigors of home ownership and as you age, what a blessing. A lot of people enjoy, you know, there are some adults like Tim don't want to be anywhere near their grandkids, but I have a feeling that Tammy's is different. You know, Tammy probably then loves hanging out, being around the grandkids and stuff, going to the grandkids stuff, hanging out with her daughter, going shopping. That's probably far more enjoyable than having to deal with whatever. When she's out with Tim, she's just out drinking, and then she's just saying ugly stuff on the camera. So I wouldn't be surprised if her children knew that what he was up to and have managed to get her to stop that nonsense. I don't think Tammy is never going to spring for that. And her children aren't going to let her. That's why they took her ass out to North Carolina.
And all the way down at one time. And now, of course, they put in some McMansions.
Oh, yeah, the Stolen Valor, too.
Looks like Teddy's back from his walk. He's going to walk out here.
Yeah, he did that, too.
You can see the boats are just sitting here tied up nicely. Guy's got him a cage over there that he drops down. He can put live fish in that are bait.
I don't think Dwayne was ever going to divorce her because Tammy had moved out with Tim long before that in that apartment, long before he passed away. They were not living together. I think they just knew that a divorce would be expensive and they just didn't see the point, I guess. I guess he just didn't seem to, it wasn't a concern of his. You know, the exhaustion, you know, probably it would end up, you know, probably in the divorce, they would have to split the assets if they didn't remain divorced. At least Tammy was probably out of that home, and Dwayne was just living his life. You know, and so it just, if they had divorced, then the properties are having to be split, and it's just a whole other thing. And then, you know, he could have probably stripped her out of everything because he could have probably brought up Tim, you know. But so maybe they just, you know, decided we don't know Dwayne's reasoning or rationale. But it surprised me. But for whatever reason, they had, because there's no way in hell he didn't know that they weren't living in that apartment over by Fred and Rafaela, because they were there for years. There's no way.
It's just really, really nice. Here comes the man now. Have a good walk?
Oh, yeah. She'll always come by and be friends with Tim. But she's never going to purchase a condo for Tim to retire in. She is not propping Tim up that way. I promise you, her children are going to do everything in their willpower to keep, because he was working last, if you watched this video a year or so ago, when he was out and coming back with Tammy, when she flew out to Nevada and they went around and she was playing golf or whatever. That was Tim's time, because she'd gotten that probate in, was Tim's time trying to sweeten her up to buy property. And they met with that couple that was a real estate couple. And Tim was all laughing, talking about getting sticks and bricks and stuff. And then she got that time where she was like cussing out the Starbucks people. And then, all his reaction channels called her out. He started striking my channel again and doing all his crazy that he does. And then Tammy was gone, because the kids were moving out of Florida and Tammy was going with them.
You have your
It's the only reason why Tammy's not around.
coffee there.
Oh, is that what it is?
So last night, Jolene made us a pretty nice dinner, huh? All these guys showed up to eat.
You guys talked until midnight.
Yeah, we were definitely conversating. Ted and Jolene.
Oh, when was the crotch shot? Sorry, pardon my French. Did he do that to her? I'm glad she had pantyhose on. Tam, you were so bad. That's what I'm telling you. You could not trust this man near your wife. Even if he don't have money, he always going to try to creep on. Because maybe he thinks that if he, at some point, maybe Ted will pass away. And maybe he'll be the one to inherit Jolene. Who knows with Tim? Jolene knows what to do. Keep away from that man. God dang it. That's Ted not letting it out of his sight. I wouldn't.
Went to bed. Well, they go in their cottage and watch TV and have their alone time. But I got hung out here with these other guys still a pretty good while.
Yeah, because they're married, Tim, and they don't want you up there, whatevers. Ted don't want you around. I just have a feeling Ted's not happy that Tim showed up. I always think that Teddy don't want Tim around.
A good conversation.
The dinner was sensational.
It was amazing.
Is that the best lasagna you ever had?
In my life.
Right, but you still got more years left. Few to me, huh?
Yeah, we do. We have some more lasagna and manicotti. I think she's making me today, though, a special meal, chicken piccata. What you call it?
God, it's really good. What you get.
Oh, then we showed that one a minute ago.
Pounds on the ground.
Yeah, she's going to pound the chicken and make some chicken piccata for my birthday, a little early birthday gift. So, yeah, it's just great here, man. It's great.
Yeah, nice and cool this morning.
Oh, God.
Very nice.
Yes, we hope so, too.
Well, I got to get over to John and Carol, so I'll be back in a little bit.
Oh, my God.
Joey and I might walk again or something. So you take care.
Ted just walking off on him. Oh, my God. Are we going to have to go back and check that video real quick? Oh, my gosh, guys. Don't get me demonetized.
There, Teddy. Enjoy yourself this morning.
Nice day, isn't it?
Look at this guy. He's got it made.
It was like it's 2 degrees today.
Tim, your envy is awful. I see people who look like they have it made too. Other people might see me walking around with my dogs on the boardwalk, smiling, having a good time, thinking I have it made. Who knows? Yeah, he does have it made, Tim, but it's not your life. He wants everybody else's life but his. Yeah, the envy of these narcissists just kill me. If you wanted this life, Tim, you should have worked for it. Do you understand me? And it's harder for women sometimes because we get paid significantly less. You had all the opportunities. You're just a lazy SOB who wanted to play his whole entire life. And this is what you get in return. So stop trying to live off of everybody. And that's why he's so desperate about this YouTube channel. That's why he gets so angry, because this was Tim's swan song. He finally was making some money because he was, with those videos, the way he was making videos and still putting out 3 or 4 a day, getting hundreds of thousands of views, guys, he was making a lot of money. Okay? I'm telling you, a lot more than you realize.
What's that?
Spoon Lake.
Shroon Lake up in New York, where they have a place. What is it? How cold is it?
Oh, 2 or 4.
2 or 4 degrees. Glad to be here, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, they're glad you're going to be going, Tim.
All right. There's my house.
Oh, God.
Doesn't take much to
And thank you for reminding me. Your Heaven's Gate shoes aren't out there now.
please me. You know?
That's Tim. That's the setup that Tim gets. Okay, guys? Flip-flops and a tent on a deck. He's living life large, though. Tim, you're not even allowed in the house. I would be very upset at 60-some years old to be in a tent on the side of Teddy's like putting you on the dock, Tim. And he's probably nervous he's going to get reported.
I like that little tent. And that mattress I have in there takes the entire floor. So,
Yeah, just living the best life ever. 67 years old and you're having to be in the tent on your somebody who doesn't seem to want you around's property while you're taking shots of his wife.
it's good. I think I have a hoodie in there I'm going to grab and wear that underneath my motorcycle jacket.
Okay, nobody cares. Why do we have to hear this? Okay, well, let's check how he got 2.9 views on that video. I have no idea. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to go back to this. Is this the one where or was it this one? It was this Christmas dinner at minute 5. He crotch-shotched her. Let me try to find this. You guys are killing me. All right. Is it over? Oh, over here. Oh, I see. Okay, guys. All right, ladies. Be prepared to be annoyed by this man. And if you feel it's inappropriate, you know the buttons to hit. You just go over here and you go over here. And if you think he's doing anything that's horrible, you just let YouTube know if you feel that it's violating your sanctity. All right, Tim. We're finishing it out because I got over 100 votes on the thing, and I've already had so much of you guys' time today. Almost 3.5 hours. That's wild. It's like a full-time job, Tim. It's almost as many hours as you did a day selling online coupons.
Before I dig in, take a look at that fire. You wouldn't believe the heat coming off of that. And we're served up. Looks like Teddy's was digging in.
Uh-oh. Okay. She does not have hose on, guys. There's no way that this is a lady with she does not have hosiery. Okay, I can already tell you that these legs do not have hose on. Okay, I promise you.
Pretty good, Teddy.
Oh my God, he did, didn't he? OMG. I don't think she has underwear on. Oh my God. I don't think she has underwear on, guys. Oh my God. I don't know if I want to go back. Show that again. I can get myself in trouble. It's her inner thigh. I know, but it's kind of, oh God, guys. I don't know.
Get in. Pretty good, Teddy.
That's looks like all right, guys. I'm gonna slow it down. Oh my God, because then we have to report him. I'm sorry, Jolene. We're not doing this for you. We're doing this because we're trying to figure out if Tim is inappropriate with his filming. If I feel it's going to violate her privacy, then I will stop this. Because I am a female and I do want to be respectful.
And
I'm trying to figure out if Tim wasn't. And I don't think Tim was. That's not her thighs, guys. That's not her thighs. I don't know, guys. That's I think it's not the top. It's the top of her thighs, but I think it's also very much into the groin. I'm just going to say from a medical perspective. It's definitely exposed her indecently. Oh my gosh. I don't think she has underwear on. Jolene, oh no, that's not the inner thigh, guys. Oh no, no. I can't show any more of this because I do believe he did expose her. And that's not the inner thighs, guys. I promise you, I've spent enough time down there as a nurse. Okay. I probably have had to see more of these things than anybody, just from a medical perspective. And what I'm seeing is that's her, guys. Yeah.
Okay. It'll do.
Nope. Oh my God. Okay, I gotta turn this one off because I gotta. Oh yeah, he exposed her. I actually had to come off the video because I don't want to get in trouble. He fully shot her. Oh my gosh. I can promise you. Oh, I think I know what I'm seeing as a female. When that final pan. Oh, she's not wearing any underwear. No, she's not. She's not wearing any underwear. He has completely. I don't think she was expecting this guy to crotch film her. He's dangerous to have around, isn't he, ladies? I had to take it off because I felt like I was violating Jolene's personal space. There's great with Fridge Great. Oh, I know. I don't want to even put it up to a poll. But she's definitely got no underwear on, guys. And that was fully like Sharon Stone. Right there. Like when he panned, that's out of control. Yeah, I'm speechless too. I'm kind of speechless. I had to take it off. Well, no, and when you wear those little tiny, she didn't want, she obviously just didn't think that, she'd be sitting there with her legs and Tim gonna just pan the camera around. Oh, nice trip. Oh my God, I know. Somebody down in Florida, I guess, not realizing that Tim's gonna film you because she had that cute little dress on. Well, you guys know what to do. Sadly, I think she's fallen to. Yo, absolutely. It's been going on for years. Oh my God. I just don't even know what to say, guys. Her legs are tight. She's old enough to know better. Yeah, she's old enough to know better, but Oh my God. I'm sorry, because she did have a very short dress on. That wasn't her thighs, guys, okay? I mean, there were parts where her thighs, but there was a space dead in the middle. That wasn't her thighs, okay? Download before deleted. Well, we've got it on this video, and I can download it too. I think I can download on mine. I know I can download my own videos. Oh God. Oh my God, guys. I can't put that back on the screen. We're going to have to do like an iMovie video on that one. You guys are wild. Oh, darling, we got another fridge grate on our hands. I had to stop the video because I was showing her lady bits on the camera. I know I was. Hold on, guys. Oh God, I can't show it again. I can't show it again. I'm gonna have to look at that. I'm gonna have to download it and get it up on iMovie and do something with that. Holy moly. Are they swingers? Oh my God. Well, that's always a good question. You never know. I know that there's a lot in Virginia Beach, there's swingers clubs. A lot of the old Navy SEALs are part of it. I heard all about it back in the day, about the swinger groups and all these like people with their, you know, predilections and proclivities that are not of my speed. Yes, please don't forget to like button, please. It's a free way to support my channel. Oh my God, we're in Crotchgate. We are literally in Crotchgate now. Oh my God, this is Crotchgate. I'm after this video, we're going to be ending this live stream now because I've got to make a video about this, guys. I got some iMovie magic to do. It's real simple. And so I need to kind of come in here and also obviously put some editing over the top of it. So don't report it yet, guys. But then you should probably, if you feel that it's sexualized content. Oh, I won't get in trouble. I'll make sure that I put the suitable, like, flowers or whatever over the top. Don't worry. I'll make sure to blur correctly. I'll make sure I get whatever I need to do editing wise, or I'll get it to my editor to fix something up on it in order for me to get it past the kind of beige for swingers. Sometimes swingers are the most beige people. I cannot with this community. It's so funny. I tell you, these young kids who are watching some of these other influencers, what time in the video? It was at minute, I would say, hold on, let me not share it, guys. Hold on. I would say it's coming in at around minute 5. Oh, God. Oh, God, it's right there. 5:03. Let me not share. We go back. It's 5:03. Oh, God. Oh, my God. It's at 5. It's right at that moment. 5 minutes and 3 seconds. Yeah. And it's a full shot, guys. It's a full shot. All right, I'm going to download this video because if you guys want to like make Tim's day really bad, be my guest. Let's close the poll. Oh my God, I can't even show it. He's coming up on my channel, guys. I'm going to get in trouble. And I'll have to explain to YouTube that I was like reacting to content. And this is for educational information purposes only. And we do not treat or diagnose anybody on this channel. And though I am trained to be a nurse educator, I can't educate Tim on anything. I was about to say, there's a law, leave it to Beaver. Sticks to your body. I don't think that she thought that Tim was gonna. Maybe he knows what, I mean, we've seen Tim naked in that dang refrigerator, guys. Stood there with all his glory out, showing it to the neighbors. Tim is just a character. That's why he's crushing it for Christ. Come on, if you're crushing it for Christ, you are not trying to get, knowing that she had that little dress on and knowing the way she was sitting Tim and that he had his plate there. I can't say that Tim did this innocently. This was not done in innocence. What is the video called? It is called It is I know it's horrific. He shouldn't do this to women. It is the Christmas dinner and guest at the Tiki Hut, Boynton Beach, Florida. He's got nearly 5,000 views. How many of you think how many people you think are now getting a view of Miss Jolene's kitty cat? Now, I'm going to let you guys know, he almost took down Darling's channel for having shown Fridgegate. And he managed to get a campaign together that almost lost Darling their channel. So I'm not saying to do anything, but if you feel that it is offensive for Tim to have a video on YouTube that is showing Miss Jolene's kitty cat, which it clearly did, okay? It's not her in her thigh, okay, guys? There's that one point at 5:03. You stop the video if you did what I did and slowed the video down to absolutely nothing, and then film that part or slow it down, you will clearly see that this man violated this woman's privacy and has put some content that's not allowed on the channel. That's all I'm gonna say. Have fun. I think we all are. Okay, let's finish out this poll. I'm finishing out the day. 114 votes. You guys are awesome. We're ending the poll. Okay, the poll. Thank you, guys. Wow. I mean, it's been medically confirmed. Yeah, I think we girls know what our bits look like. Is Tim going to have his birthday dinner with Fred and Raphael in Bradenton? Yes to 85%. No, 11%. And 4% think he's going to party with the neighbors who he called drunks and shopaholics. Oh, do you think he's ever going to be invited back to Teddy's if Teddy finds out that he showed his wife's vagina on the internet? Do you think Teddy ever going to invite Tim back? I think we need to make a big thing about this. So I'm going to end this live stream here now. I'm about to take this video. I want to get off because I want to film this video on my phone real quick and get it. Because it's really easy to record things on your phone on YouTube and do a really good job. And that's how I get them up onto my iMovies for you guys. So I'm just going to download this video right now. Oh, Sammy, thank you for the super chat. Sammy says, thank you, Ray, for another informative and entertaining live. Well, you are so very welcome. I'm going to stick this phone in my room while I get this video because I don't know how long this video is going to stay up, guys. So, like, for you guys catching it, congratulations. You guys are an awesome community. This community is a group effort, okay? This community is a group effort. And if you feel that this is what's so wild. This video has 4.9 thousand views. And it's not going to take a genius for these guys with this. Because if you have YouTube Premium, you can do what I did, which is slow this down to like no speed at all. And when I slowed it down, that shot came fully around. And she has nothing on. And her thighs, that's not her thigh. I mean, her thighs are there, but she's a tiny lady. And she is very clearly, it's showing her, it's showing her labia. Let's use a medical term. And I think that's really inappropriate. I don't think you should be putting your friends' wives' kitty cats on the internet, Tim. It's not good. Okay. Now you can put your naked self up there, but now you have a Christmas video that you have shown this, and we're going to highlight this, Tim. So get ready to feel even more embarrassed when you return to the Bradenton slab, because at the moment you're traveling, so you can't see that, you know, and you're on a motorbike, so you can't see until you get back to the slab in Bradenton that now that we've gone live. And now that somebody had some good sharp eyes, because, you know, people have good sized TV sets around here. And somebody had a good eye. So I don't know who it was in the chat who originally called it out. I know it was it's probably a guy. Because guys are going to see that probably faster than us ladies. Okay? You knew what you were doing, Tim. You literally have posted a video flashing, and anybody can stop it. Okay? I could get up here on my 40, 50, whatever. I don't have a very big TV. I'm not a big TV person. I think I have a 40-some inch screen or something because I don't like being overwhelmed by a TV in my home. And that thing, Tim, I'm telling you, man, that's wild that you've literally posted that on your channel. And you know exactly what you're up to. How could you, or are you just so oblivious? It's the video that's got the most number of views out of all your Christmas videos too. Almost 5,000 views, Tim. Wild. Thank you for that, Super. I appreciate that, by the way. Thank you, Sammy. That was very nice of you. All right, guys. I got to make sure. Let me just check my video recording. I'm going to be right back. Okay. Sorry, I'm doing something on the phone to download this video because I'm going to have to report this to YouTube because I feel bad for Miss Jolene. I really do because she seems like she is a lovely lady. And I just don't think it's appropriate. I'm so glad. I know. I'm so glad. He did that as well. Oh, God. I'm kind of glad I went back. I mean, just to verify, because I just couldn't believe that, but it's worse than I thought, actually. I'm trying not to show too much of it on my end because I could get my video down, and I'm just trying to figure out if he really flashed her. And he did. He did. You saw it. You told Darling. Well, hopefully Darling will cover that too. I know Darling and I, and we're not going to let this stuff go. Don't worry, guys. We are. I know I'm not the biggest of the channels, but he definitely hates my reaction channels. I know he gets so mad sometimes. He was getting, see, you can always tell when Tim's mood's improving because the reaction channels aren't calling him out as much because we have lives. And the minute we just don't have the time anymore, or we get busy because Darling and I have lives, then, but this is awesome, Tim. This is awesome. All right, guys. I love you all. I'm going to end it here. Happy Saturday. And I wanted to thank you all for joining me. Make sure you hit the likes before you leave. Oh my God, we're in crotch gate. Okay, guys. Bye.